following NBC sports program is brought to you in living color.
Early morning, New Year's Day, Pasadena. They worked all year for this, and the bowl starts to fill up early. Some have already left the parade. Some even stayed overnight to see the parade in the Rose Bowl game, slept on the streets. And today, an all-time record Rose Bowl crowd of over 104,000 will watch Ohio State play USC as NBC Sports presents a look at the 1973 Rose Bowl game. And here we are, the Rose Bowl game. It's the granddaddy of them all. A Happy New Year from Kurt Gowdy and L.D. Rogatis. You know, Al, it was just 50 years ago in the first Rose Bowl Stadium game that the Trojans beat Penn State by a score of 14-3. However, the very first game was played back in 1902, 70 years ago. And that point-a-minute powerhouse from the University of Michigan came out to play Stanford. Well, the game was a rout. Michigan won the game by a score of 49-0. The game was so one-sided and so boring that the tournament committee decided that football wasn't the answer for their special day, and so they scheduled some other events. Let's take a look. So on New Year's Day in 1903, the theme was simply an afternoon of sport, and a varied menu of competition it was. Everything from track and field to grease pole climbing, egg and spoon races. But soon to become the most popular event was chariot racing. And so it was for the next 14 years. Charioteers, inspired by the popularity of the book Ben-Hur that was sweeping the country, risked their very lives and limbs.
Meantime, the New Year's Day morning attraction, the Rose Parade, which had begun as early as 1890, maintained its popularity. And it was enjoyed not only by spectators, but also by those parade participants who relished the challenge of creating unusual, eye-catching floral designs.
Finally, in 1916, football was given a second chance. The popularity of the Rose Parade was undampened here in this scene from the 1916 parade. Originality and design continued to flourish, even in the rain. Washington State shut out Brown University 14-0 on January 1st of that year. The game was a crowd pleaser, and even a downpour and chilly 46-degree temperature could not dampen the spirits of those who realized that football in Pasadena was here to stay.
And how about that press box, Kurt?
Oh.
Within just 6 years, plans were finalized to build a concrete stadium. And on February 7th, 1922, construction began on what eventually was to become the world-famous Rose Bowl, so named by Tournament of Roses publicity man Harlan Dusty Hall.
Despite somewhat primitive construction equipment and methods, less than a year later saw the Rose Bowl open its gates for the first time to a capacity crowd of 57,000 on that historic day for the city of Pasadena, January 1st, 1923. Well, it rained in that first game played in the Rose Bowl Stadium. Today, the weather is very windy. It's going to be a factor in this game. We'll be talking about it later. And L.D. Rogatis is going to carry you along with some of the highlights of the Ohio State season right after this.
Hey, Pete, you guys can change back into soft clothes. I decided to give your purse snatch theory a trial.
Out of uniform, but on duty, Reed and Malloy foil a purse snatching. Back in uniform, they face danger on the trail of two suspected killers. Follow the excitement on Adam 12, Wednesday at 8, 7 Central Time. Followed by Madigan.
This is Richard Widmark. On the Wednesday mystery movie, Madigan is hung up in Lisbon when he loses a killer he's bringing back to justice.
See a tense 90-minute drama with Madigan at 8:30, 7:30 Central Time. Then,
This is Tony Francios inviting you to join us on Search.
Red light. Scanner completely out.
You're controlled by me alone, and there is no escape.
You're God.
On this island, I am.
watch Search, Wednesday at 10, 9 Central Time on NBC.
Ohio State is number 3 in the country. They're 9-1. Some say this team is 3 yards in a cloud of dust. We think otherwise, and I think you'll agree. Woody Hayes is completing his 22nd season at Ohio State, and his teams have won 3 of 4 in the Rose Bowl. The Buckeyes have a big quarterback in junior Greg Hare. He's 6'3" and 198 pounds, averaged nearly 4 yards a carry this season. Hare is from Cumberland, Maryland, scored 4 TDs. Hare has a strong arm and has completed 49% of his passes this fall, 3 for touchdowns. Halfback Rick Galbos was the leading pass receiver for Ohio State, catching 11. Sophomore fullback Harold Champ Henson led the nation in scoring with 20 touchdowns. The 6'4", 228-pounder from Asheville, Ohio, gained over 100 yards in 4 different games and finished with 772 yards rushing. Freshman Archie Griffin also gained 772 on the ground to tie Henson for the school leadership. Griffin gained 239 yards in his first game against North Carolina. Defense is a Woody Hayes trademark, and against Michigan, the Buckeyes allowed a score on only 1 of 12 plays inside the 5-yard line. Tackle George Hazenall, number 7, the defensive captain of the Ohio State squad. His teammates have voted him the most valuable player of the year, and the 262-pounder from Garfield Heights, Ohio, has made the first unit on several All-American teams. Hazenall is a natural leader. When he was in high school, he served as captain of football, wrestling, and the track team. Another Ohio State All-American is number 53, Randy Gradishaw. He plays what his coaches call the short linebacker position, but Gradishaw is hardly that. He's 6'3" and weighs 238 pounds. Gradishaw missed nearly 3 games this fall because of a knee injury and still finished second in tackles.
Well, that's a look at the Ohio State highlights. We'll take a look at now what happened for USC during their undefeated season right after this message.
Is it possible that this planet Earth has been visited by travelers from outer space? Did they wander through the throbbing light years of the universe in search of other life and find it here? If we accept the premise that beings from another civilization visited here ages ago, then some of the mysteries of our past take on a new and startling light. Early stone carvers left silent records for their descendants to tell us something, but not quite enough. The world is a storehouse, an archive of unexplained phenomena. Gigantic creations, in effigy of what? To appease or acclaim whom? Folk legend surrounds their origin. Strange stories of gods who appeared riding across the skies in flaming chariots of light.
Rod Serling narrates a fascinating NBC special, In Search of Ancient Astronauts, Friday at 10, 9 Central Time.
John McKay is not a bashful man, and he comes right out and says that this year's USC team is the best one he's ever coached. 11 wins in a row. Let's watch some of their action. Brings the USC team to the Rose Bowl for the 6th time in 11 years. He's won 3 and lost 2 at Pasadena. The unbeaten Trojans feature a balanced offense. They've gained nearly 2,000 yards passing, with unanimous All-American tight end Charles Young grabbing 23. McKay says Young is the best tight end he's ever coached. Junior Lynn Swan not only caught 21 passes this year, but he averaged 11.5 yards per run on flanker reverses and led the Pacific 8 Conference in punt returns with a 14-yard average. Sophomore J.K. McKay, the coach's son, topped Southern Cal in receptions with 25, 4 going for touchdowns. Fullback Sam Bam Cunningham scored 9 touchdowns. He was 3rd in team rushing, but the 218-pound senior is noted for his crunching blocking. Mike Ray is one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the country. He passed for over 1,500 yards, completing 55% of his tosses. He scored 97 points himself. Ray ran for almost 300 yards, many times after scrambling free from tacklers. And the senior kicked a school record 8 field goals and 43 extra points. He won the Pop Warner Award as the most valuable player on the West Coast. For the first 8 games this autumn, Anthony Davis wasn't even a starter for the Trojans. On December 2nd, this 190-pound sophomore became an instant celebrity. On that afternoon, in the Coliseum, he scored 6 touchdowns against Notre Dame. 2 of those 6-pointers came on kickoff returns of 97 and 96 yards. Davis finished the campaign with 1,034 yards rushing, most in history by a USC sophomore. His 16 touchdowns trailed only Henson of Ohio State. Not bad for a young man who was a quarterback in high school and might become a pro baseball outfielder in 2 years. More of the color in the background here from the Rose Bowl in Pasadena right after this.
I am just a young man who is coming home from war. It's a hard road I have traveled, but soon I will be home, quietly remembering all I have seen. How boys grow into manhood and men fight for their dream. I went far through the mud and through the jungle where I thought no man could go. I learned as few men ever do. All that's gone now far behind me, now I'm looking for a job. And I'm going to find one. I know what I am and what I want my hands to do. I want to see how these hands that serve my country can build a life for me.
Within the last hour, the wind has diminished here at the Rose Bowl. 30 to 50 miles an hour was blowing this morning. It can still be gusting again. What about the wind as a factor in the game, Al?
Well, Kurt, knowing that both of these teams move the ball so extremely well on the ground, you have the feeling that really it may not be that much of a factor. Where it's going to be a problem, probably the Trojans putting the ball up will be difficult, number one. The trouble could be in field goals, in just fielding kicks. It was incredible the amount of trouble they were having with the gusts.
Woody Hayes says that USC has never really been tested this year. They've never been behind. He said, we want to find out early if we can move out in front. I think that'll be a real clue to this game if Ohio State can get an early lead. They don't have the varied offense to play catch-up football.
Right, and Kurt, they can move the ball better than most people think. 9-1 is a great record. They can go up top. The truth is, Kurt, they cannot afford to get behind. You're absolutely right.
I believe the First Lady has arrived. Mrs. Nixon, she was in the parade. She rode in the parade this morning. And Mrs. Pat Nixon, the First Lady, has arrived at the Rose Bowl. We'll view the game here. Her husband spent a football morning. He had as his guest for brunch this morning in the White House, George Allen, the coach of the Washington Redskins, who are going to be playing Miami in a Super Bowl game, which will be seen on NBC the 14th of January. He is now being announced to the crowd. So Mrs. Nixon takes her seat. Ohio State, USC are in their dressing rooms. And we're going to have the parade of dignitaries here. So that's been it for a preview look at the Rose Bowl game. And we'll be right back following station identification for USC, Mrs. Nixon, USC, and Ohio State in the 1973 Rose Bowl game. Who told me Mrs.
The Rose Bowl next, followed by the Orange Bowl, a football doubleheader on NBC.
Thursday, 5-4.
The 1973 Rose Bowl game is brought to you by your Dodge dealer, who invites you to see the big Dodge, and by Goodyear, makers of the new custom steel guard radial tire, and by Texaco and the many thousands of independent retailers and distributors in all 50 states. everybody. Kurt Gowdy and L.D. Rogatis, on behalf of NBC Sports, wishing you a very happy New Year. And today, John McKay against Woody Hayes. All week, these two coaches have been asked a lot of questions. Mostly, is this game for the national championship? Is this for the #1 team in America? Woody Hayes said it should be. McKay at first said no. Now he said let it go for that. If that's what Hayes wants, he's in town, that's what it's going to be. But I think the one real question that should be asked both coaches, and which we have done, is how does it feel to play in the Rose Bowl as a player, as a coach, or players in future years? And so, first of all, we went to Woody Hayes, 22 years, and asked him about
the Rose Bowl. This is our third time in 5 years. It's quite a chore. It's a lot of work, but it's all worth it because we not only regard it as the oldest of the bowl games, but as the best one. And we're certainly playing a super team this year in Southern Cal. They always represent this conference out here well. We like to feel we do the same for the great Big Ten conference from which we come. So it'll be a great football game. We're the underdogs, but when you're in that position, then you play it from the heart.
Of course, playing from the heart seems to be the theme for Coach Woody Hayes. It has been in all his winning seasons, his players, and the same for John McKay and USC. McKay, though, I think puts a little bit different slant on it, especially when he speaks on behalf of the Pac-8 Conference.
Of course, the Rose Bowl is the goal of all teams in our conference, and I think all the teams in the Big Ten. This university has appeared in it 17 times. I've been fortunate to appear 5 times. This is my 6th time. I can think of no greater thrill for a college coach or a college football player in playing in this game. Some of the great players of all time have played in it. We're going to play a very, very fine team in Ohio State, and we think it's going to be a great game, and we hope we have a lot of fun. Thank you.
And now coming onto the field, the Grand Marshal, Michael Morrison Wayne, Duke Wayne. The fireman nicknamed him when they used to keep his dog when he went to Glendale High School, and a football player at USC. And he's with Otis Blassingham, the tournament president. John Wayne, a very popular choice as Grand Marshal. 50 years ago, he said he used to help pin up some of the flowers for the parade, and it took him 50 years to decide to make him the Grand Marshal. And here are the queens. The queen is Sally Ann Norton, a 20-year-old beauty from Altadena, California. And her princesses are Michelle Marie Vezzadini, Gail Andrea Gurrell, Melanie Lee Irwin, Janet J. Carr, Jimmy Lou Bates, and Karen Lee Sells, the queen and her princesses. Let's quickly talk about the weather. The wind has died down. It was gusting 30 to 50 miles an hour. A wind coming off the heights of Utah down through Santa Ana, and there was some danger that the wind would raise havoc with the parade. It didn't, but you can see the trees, the wind, and once again, Al, what is the strategy? This wind's going to be stronger at times today, and it keeps gusting up and down.
That's right, Kurt. You know, other than the wind, the setting is just magnificent. I've never seen weather like this, frankly. Strategy altered somewhat, but not necessarily in any big way. Again, the ball is going to be on the ground. We may see some passing. Ohio State hasn't been overwhelmingly in the passing game in the past.
All right, let's go down on the field now and pick up the Ohio State band. Alma mater. And now this all-time record crowd of over 104,000 will be on their feet temperature in the 60s. The Ohio State band will be maneuvering, and then we're going to have our national anthem.
And now to honor America, you are invited to join the Ohio State University Marching Band under the direction of Dr. Paul Drosty in singing our national anthem. Start the new year. Now let's meet some of the outstanding players of the nation's #1 ranked team, the USC Trojans, that filmed at one of their practice sessions.
Lynn Swan, flanker, junior.
Charles Young, senior, tight end. David Brown, senior center. Tennessee, go!
Mike Ryan, senior, offensive guard.
Alan Graff, senior, offensive guard.
Pete Adams, offensive tackle, senior.
Alan Gallagher, offensive tackle, senior.
64, go! Sam Cunningham, senior, fullback.
Anthony Davis, sophomore, tailback.
40, go!
Mike Ray, senior, quarterback.
40, go!
Jeff Winan, senior, defensive tackle.
John Grant, senior, defensive tackle.
40, go!
Richard Woods, sophomore linebacker.
Coach.
Steve Fate, senior, defensive back.
Charles Hinton, senior, defensive back.
The Trojans are good. There's no doubt about it. And the Ohio State team knows exactly that. They're very good. In one of the greatest settings, frankly, that we have ever seen, Citrus College, we met some of these Ohio State football players, outstanding young people, huge guys, and they really know how to play this football game.
Steve Luke, sophomore center. Jim Kriegel, junior guard. Chuck Bronican, senior guard.
Merv Teague, senior, left offensive tackle.
John Hicks, offensive tackle, junior.
Fred Pugach, junior, tight end.
Go ahead, quarterback, then fullback. Greg Hare, junior, quarterback. Fullback.
Carl Hinson, sophomore, fullback. Randy Keith, junior, fullback. Arch Griffin, freshman, tailback. Rick Galva, senior, wingback. George Hayden, senior, defensive tackle. Mike Scannell, senior, defensive end. Chad Williams, defensive tackle, Portsmouth, Ohio, senior.
Well, that's the background. They're just about ready. USC, Ohio State for the opening kickoff. And we'll be back here in Pasadena in 1 minute.
Sam! Sam, it's Faye! Doc says she's ready! Gotta borrow your car!
What's wrong with your car? It's not a Dodge Charger, Sam. It hasn't got torsion quiet ride like your Charger SE, or electronic ignition, or all that room. Sam, I want Faye to ride in this kind of style.
I'll get the keys. Extra care and engineering makes a difference in Dodge. Depend on it.
We're gonna get you there.
It's a good girl.
Allstate can't put it out, but we can sure help put back what it destroys. Allstate Homeowners Insurance gives you more protection at less cost than similar policies from many other companies. Loss from fire, theft, vandalism, and many other hazards. If you own a house, you need to be in good hands. You're in good hands with Allstate.
This is the newest copier in the IBM line. As you can see, this plain paper copier lets you feed in originals continuously. And it doesn't keep you waiting around for your copies to appear either. At IBM, we think one of the most important things about a copier is how fast it actually lets you make copies. The new Copier 2 from IBM.
In white today will be Ohio State. They just burst out on the field. Big roar from the stands down below us. Thousands of Ohio State rooters are here, and they're bouncing up and down like yo-go sticks, just the way they were against Michigan when they came out of their locker room. Hayes is many things to many people. He's a very articulate man, very bright, and he can talk to young people. He can get them up. So Ohio State now comes to the sidelines. The captains are moving out. Rick Galbus, George Hazenhall are the regular captains for the year.
Gentlemen, your referee, Mr.
We also have Merv
Sam
T.
Cunningham,
and
Captain
John
Hicks. Grant.
Here are the officials. We'll give them to you later. We're going to have the toss of the coin ceremony.
Ohio State. Number 75 is Merv Tegg. Number 70 is George Hosnall. Number 74 is John Hicks. And 33 is Rick Galbo. Gentlemen, our officiating crew today. Our line judge is Bob Fallon. Our back judge is Jake Light. The umpire is Victor Wukowitz. And our field judge is Bob Broadbeck. Our head linesman is Tom Cross. Our alternate official is Jack Roberts. Ohio State will call the coin toss, and I'll toss it and catch it. You'll call it while it's in the air. Here we go. Tails. We call tails. It is tails. You have won the toss. Kick, receive. You want the ball. Kicking off from which direction, man? This way? Okay, you want to kick this way, okay? Gentlemen, come together. I have a coin, Pacific 8, I'll give to each team, and you gentlemen can flip for it. Now, if you shake hands and get your teams right out here. What do we do? Shake hands.
We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network. Kurt Gowdy and L.D. Rogatis. Ohio State in white. Southern Cal is spreading out. Woody Hayes with the last talk. Look at him go. And the famous Buckeye battle cry playing in the background. John McKay seeking his 100th coaching victory today. Woody Hayes is going after his 150th this afternoon. It's unusual to see a tailback kick off. But Anthony Davis, the star running back of USC, on the small side when you look at him, is going to be kicking off. He has a very strong leg, and McKay says he's going to make him into the field goal kicker next year. The boy doesn't want to do it, but that's what it's going to be. He's a superb athlete, an excellent baseball player. Archie Griffin is the middleman. Number 45, Bash Nagel, number 48, and Holy Cross, 27, are deep. The wind is swirling around. You can't really tell from what direction it's coming from. Here's the kick. It's a short one. And running up on that one is a freshman, Bash Nagel, on the 20, 25, and is spun down on the 28-yard line. So Ohio State will move into action now on their 28. Boninger downfield for USC to make the hit. Greg Hare will be the quarterback. He's number 18. Archie Griffin, 45, Henson 38, Galvos 33, the running backs. They're in the robust tee or the old straight tee. Hare on the option is hit by Sims. James Sims, number 41, a junior from Los Angeles, and he practically plays in the opponent's backfield. He's very quick, and he gambles and penetrates in the plays. He threw him back for 2. It's to the 26-yard line of Ohio State. Second down, 12 to go.
That Sims fella, Kurt, twice this year has been the defensive back for this Trojan team.
All right, Smurt is checked in as a tight end now for Ohio State. He's a 4-stringer. Ball given off to Griffin, and he's jammed up at his 27. Monty Doris, who plays the nose guard or the middle guard in the 5-man front line for USC, hit him. The yard gain, it'll be 3rd and 11. Dale Mitchell is the left end, 85. They flop around at times. John Grant, the All-Americans left tackle, 94. Doris, the middleman, 72. Jeff Winans, 92, the right tackle, and Sims, 41, the end. Holy Cross into the game. Smurt has come out. 3rd and 11. And with this wind today, passing may be treacherous. Ohio State, Greg Hare. They run it, they give it to Griffin, and he spills over the 30 to his 32. A gain of 5, but they're way short. It'll be 4th down, 6 to go. And coming in now to punt is Gary Lago, who is the top kicker in the Big Ten this year, averaging 41.5 yards a kick. And he's going against the best punt return man on the West Coast, Lynn Swan, number 22, who in one game this year ran punts back for 157 yards against Michigan State. The best single game effort of the college season. Okay. Beautiful kick. Beautiful. Back to the 20. It's fumbled, and it's out of bounds on the 15. And the ball was fumbled by Hinton. Chuck Hinton, number 26. So USC now is pinned back on their 15-yard line.
We talked about that wind, Kurt, and we said it could be a factor in the punting game. In practice, they were having a difficult time. It just drifts away from you. Fortunate kick. It's out of bounds.
That was a 53-yard punt. No return. Take that anytime, wouldn't you?
Oh, beauty.
All right, USC will have Mike Ray at quarterback, number 6. Out of their stack eye, Anthony Davis is the tailback, 28. Cunningham's the fullback, 39. Swan is the flanker, 22. Mike Ray is going in motion to Swan. And Davis is hit at the 16-yard line by Randy Gratishar, number 53, the All-American linebacker. Second down, 9 to go. Edessel Garrison, number 19, is the split end. The man who made everybody's All-American, Charles Young, 89, is the tight end. Pete Adams, Steve Riley at tackles, Mike Ryan, Alan Graff at guards, and Dave Brown is the center. 2nd down, 9 for USC. No score. 2.5 minutes gone. Mike Ray from Lakewood, California. Anthony Davis again. Comes over the 20. Amazing balance. Johnny McKay must have been asked 1,000 times, who does he run like, Garrison or Garrett?
Here's a replay, Kurt. They were stacked to the inside, Ohio State. Nicely, Anthony Davis takes it to the outside, follows his interference well, does quite a bit on his own.
And you know, Al, when you figure he didn't start until the 8th game and still wound up gaining 707 yards, you know how incredible he had to be in the last 3-4 games of the season for USC.
You know, Kurt, also looking at the state defense, they're playing their 2 of their 4 linemen very wide. Gradishar and Middleton, the 2 excellent linebackers, are jamming that middle. It looks like it's inviting for the Trojans. It may not be.
Now the coach's son, J.K. McKay, has replaced Garrison as a wide receiver. McKay will be number 25. In motion is Swan. Davis hit before he could get to the line of scrimmage. Magnificent charge there by number 88, Van de Cree, and 53, Gradishar, the linebacker.
He's 6'3". He's 232 pounds. He's a junior, and he's the man, really, they've got to beat. 53, moving to the outside, coming back. Quite a bit of help, Kurt. Great pursuit.
Manfred Moore, number 44, has come in as fullback now for USC. You notice that time that Ray, the quarterback, went back and gave the ball to Davis deep. That's to give Davis some time to look over the situation, to pick out his hole. Well, he sort of delays back there. Swan in motion again, a flag down. That's against USC, illegal procedure. And I believe he may, Al, have started the man in motion toward the line of scrimmage. On the 19-yard line of USC, they have a 2nd down and 16. We have no score, 11 minutes to play in the first period.
We've been talking, Kurt, about those linebackers. Rick Middleton, number 32, generally plays the offside. Gradishar plays the strong side. Tough. There's Middleton, very quick.
Now this is their power eye. Swan in motion. McKay is flanked to the left. Ray for his first pass. Sets up a screen to the 20. Davis out and is downed on his 30-yard line by Rick Middleton, the wide linebacker, number 32. Anthony Davis caught 15 passes this year. They have a varied attack. McKay caught 25. Charlie Young, the tight end, 23. Swan, 21. Davis, 15. So they have 4 or 5 outstanding targets to throw to. 3rd down now for USC on their 30-yard line. Cunningham is back in at fullback. Manfred Moore is out. There are all the USC records that the sophomore set this year. He's going to throw on 3rd and 5. He can move. He's under the gun. He's going up desperately, and this one is out of bounds. But he was just throwing out of desperation. He threw the big rainbow lob up there in the field of play. That could have been intercepted.
How about this state defensive line, Kurt? Now, they're really penetrating. We were tremendously impressed with the Trojans' offensive front. Huge people, very quick. Don't underestimate this Ohio State defensive front. They really come.
And Tim Holycross, who goes to Ohio State, a sophomore from Bedford Heights, Ohio, is back as a safety man. In punt formation will be Dave Boulware, who averaged 35.5 yards. Going against the wind. Kicks it low. Wobble job. Hits on the 45, and he gets a few extra yards in the bounce, and it winds up all right for USC. It's dead on the Ohio State 34-yard line. We have a timeout now in the Rose Bowl with a score. USC nothing, Ohio State nothing.
Introducing the new Goodyear Custom Steel Guard radio. The 40,000-mile tire with 5 guards to help protect you 5 ways. Guard 1, against rough ride. A shock-absorbing polyester cord body. Guard 2,
against penetration under the tread. 2 strong steel belts. Guard 3 against wet skids. A computer-designed tread channels the water in wet weather. Guard 4 against loss of road contact on curves. 2 special outer grooves allow the tread and the sidewall to work independently for firm tread contact. Guard 5 against sluggish handling. Special stabilizers stiffen the sidewall and help allow recovery on sudden turns. With the new Goodyear Steel Guard radial, you get the 5-guard feeling. The confidence of control, only from Goodyear.
An Ohio State offense on the ground, 270 yards this season. As usual, Ohio State ran the ball 6 times. For every time they passed it, a 6-to-1 ratio. Ohio State on their 34. They gained 2 yards in the exchange of punts. Greg Hare. For Archie Griffin, a freshman. How about a freshman playing in the Rose Bowl game? Isn't that something? A hometown Columbus boy. Archie Griffin picked his way to his 40-yard line.
Bridgewood has great speed. He almost overshoots the play here. He's 9'8". Imagine that. A sophomore linebacker, 18, 9'8". He comes back. Great speed. Elizabeth, New Jersey. Thomas Jefferson High School. What a football player.
They call him the Batman because he does miraculous things. Ohio State on their 40. 2nd down, 4. Out of their eye. A slot eye. Once again, they run little Griffin, and he breaks it. He's to the 50 and to USC territory at the USC 49-yard line. The left tackle, John Grant, nailed him from behind. But it's a 1st down for Ohio State.
Kurt, an interesting story in this game is the center, Steve Luke. Steve is starting this game because Steve Myers is out ill with mononucleosis, and he has Monty Doris on his nose. Much outweighed, but he's doing a good job. There he is.
Ohio State on the Trojan 49, 1st down, no score, 8:45 to play in the 1st period. First man through is Randy Keith, the fullback, a junior. He's just replaced Champ Henson, and Keith carries the ball to the USC 42. Richard Wood, the sophomore linebacker, who made some of the All-American teams in his 1st year of college ball, made the tackle. Now going in at tight end is Ted Powell, replacing Fred Puggich. The ball is on the 42-yard line of USC. Ohio State in possession. They have a 2nd and 3. And right now they're outplaying USC. Out of the slot eye. And it's to Griffin. He slips away, and this amazing freshman runs it to the 30-yard line. He slipped away from Jeff Winans, the tackle, who had him contained. Watch him slip out of this.
6'4", 256 pounds. Winans. This is the freshman, 239 yards against North Carolina to set a school record in the 1st game he ever played.
All right, the Buckeyes up, a 14-point underdog, look ready to play today. Now they're in a wide slot with Griffin and Keith, and Randy Keith, the junior from Cincinnati, gets a couple. It's a very young Ohio State team. On this offensive team you're looking at right now, there are only 3 seniors, 4 juniors, 3 sophomores, and 1 freshman. And they have only 1 senior on their starting defensive team.
You know, Kurt, looking at the USC, and if you were to say, what is the strategy? Well, you attack speed. They've got great speed in those linebackers. You can't run away from them. Run at them.
2nd down, 7 to go. Ohio State on the USC 27. A 0-0 game in the 1st period. Archie Griffin, 6 brothers in the family, all football players. 3 of them have played college football. Archie Griffin slowed up on the 26-yard line of USC by Monty Doris and Jeff Winans. And now Larry Wiggins is coming in at left guard, replacing Jim Kregel for Ohio State.
Probably the greatest asset that Greg Hare, 18, has is that he can run and run well.
And Morris Bradshaw has gone into the wide receiver, number 25, replacing Mike Bertossi. Hare running the option. The pitch out to Galvis, the wingback, and he appears to be short of the 1st down as he's slammed out of bounds on the Trojan 21 by Artemus Parker, the safety man of USC from Sacramento. And you saw Galvis, the offensive captain, signal over. We're about that short. Ohio State has marched from their own 34 to the 21-yard line of USC. They have fourth down, a short yard to go, and Larry Wiggins goes back in at left guard. Now let's see what they do. Randy Keith and Archie Griffin are lined up behind Greg Hare. Crowd now has its first suspenseful moment. Fourth and a short yard to go. And it is given to Keith, and it's very close. Very close. They'll certainly have to measure this. And the officials call for the measurement. No, USC is held. USC held, and Richard Wood got in there underneath. They delayed a bit on that handout. There was a delay. You wonder, Al, on a quick hitter how they'd have done.
Right, Kurt, they've been very successful on that quick burst, and suddenly they went away from it.
And now we have a timeout. With 6:17 to play in the first period, the score is 0-0.
I'm Jerry Lucas, not the youngest guy in the league, so I work out to stay in shape. I'm talking about my hair. Every day I give it a 60-second Vitalis workout. It stimulates my scalp and makes my whole head feel good. Leaves my hair neat and healthy looking. Do something nice for your scalp and hair. Work out every day with Vitalis. The Vitalis 60-second workout.
Now, for all fishermen who are reeling from cramped quarters, Dodge extends itself to bring you the Club Cab Swept Line, the pickup with storage space inside for the things you don't want to leave outside. From Dodge, depend on it. And now, for all shoppers who come home more squashed than a squash, Dodge extends itself to bring you the Club Cab Swept Line, the pickup with storage space inside for the things you don't want to leave outside. From Dodge, depend on it.
That was a 46-yard drive that Ohio State put on. It stalled on the USC 20. And now it's first down for USC. So far, they've been outplayed by Ohio State. Mike Ray looking down, and he has his man at the 40. And that's Lynn Swan, who came back a step or two. Lynn Swan is tackled by Jeff Davis.
This is what Woody's afraid of. The balance of the Trojan team. They could run it, but when they have to, they can throw it. Good protection. Good completion.
Lynn Swan, according to USC, is to them what Johnny Rodgers is to Nebraska. You'll see Rodgers later in the Orange Bowl right after this game on NBC, the Heisman Trophy winner. J.K. McKay's in the game, and Garrison is out as a wide receiver. Davis is slung down there at the 41 by Van de Cree, number 88. Watch this charge by the defensive end, Van Cree.
Kurt, he's 6'1", and he's 216 pounds, closing down the line. Now, that's coming from the offside.
That's getting across, Al.
Boy, it sure is. If you're not big, Kurt, you better be fast.
Davis has carried the ball 4 times for 11 yards. They're flanking Swan to the left and McKay to the right. Manfred Moore now is in at fullback, replacing Sam Cunningham. Second down 8 for USC on their 41. A play-action pass. Gets away from Hazenhall to the 40, and then 2 white-shirted Ohio State men knock him out, led by Shad Williams, number 79, second-string right tackle to Pete Cusick. Shad Williams, 79, a senior from Portsmouth, Ohio.
Kurt, the way this defensive team is coming and the way they seem to be slashing and showing great pursuit, they could be a little vulnerable to the screen pass.
Third down and 6 for USC on their 43. The quarterback, Greg Hare. 5:13 to play in the first period, 0-0. Well, he's got time. And Manfred Moore fumbles the ball out of bounds. I believe he stepped out, though, on his 48-yard line. And while they line it up, the 7th in a series of football classics will be seen on NBC this year on Sunday the 14th. It's the coverage of the Super Bowl game. Our coverage begins at 2 p.m. Eastern Time with a 1-hour film history of the 6 Super Bowl games. At 3 o'clock, we'll have the Super Bowl Pre-game show, Joe Namath lending his expertise. He picked the last one he worked with us right on the nose, 3 points, Baltimore over Dallas, and then Super Bowl VII, Washington against Miami. And they're going for it. 4th down on their 49, 4th and a foot. They have it. Sam Cunningham, who gets that yardage hurdling, 225 pounds, can run the 100 under 10 seconds. Sam Cunningham picks up the first down.
And you see where they put Sam, not in the up position, but in the back position. He is big. This fella has got to be outstanding. Manfred Moore makes a good block. Huge. He could hit that line very well. Boy, he is a good one.
This is the first time USC has been in Ohio State territory. They're on the Ohio State 48. No score, just under 5 minutes to play in the first period. Fake to Davis. Flag is down. Here's a deep pass, and it is incomplete, but a flag was dropped at the line of scrimmage. And they were trying to hit Lynn Swan, who can fly. Very dangerous man. It's a legal procedure against USC. They'll talk it over with Hazen Hall, the All-American tackle, defensive captain number 70. See what he wants to do. He's going to decline it. It'll be 2nd down 10 for USC on the Ohio State 48.
You may be wondering why they declined it. This is Woody's strategy. Try to get the Trojans in a 2nd and 10 position.
Now Swan, after that long run on the deep post pattern, goes out, and Dave Boulware, number 7, comes in. Woody Hayes, who says, show me a good loser and I'll show you a loser. 2nd down 10. In motion is Boulware. The pitch is to Davis. He's got blocking. And he streaks it out. Oh, he keeps those feet close to the ground. He reminds you a lot of Clarence Davis, who's now with the Oakland Raiders. He wears Clarence's number, 28.
Watch the blockers also, though, Kurt. 89, Charlie Young. That's Manfred Moore. Young is to the outside. Made a great block. Alan Graff hitting in there. Manfred following him. Oops. A.D. just ran by his blocker.
All right, Cunningham back in. Replacing Moore. J.K. McKay replaces Garrison as a wide man. USC moving now. 1st down on the Ohio State 33. Ray under the gun. Throws it out. It's incomplete. And he was trying to hit Boulware over there, pinned against the far sideline, but he was well protected by Jeff Davis. 49-year-old John McKay, who was an All-Pacific Coast Conference halfback at Oregon, played in the same backfield with Dutch Van Broeklen.
We've seen a great deal of the zone defense this year, Kurt. Ohio State is using it right now. Linebackers are making big drops. They again have the team in a 2nd and 10 position.
2nd down 10. USC has really picked up yardage on 1st downs this year. There's Davis on that student body right, as McKay calls it. They pull the guards, they pull the tackle, they have the fullback out leading, and even the quarterback. And the play is called student body right or student body left. 5 or 6 blockers out in front of the tailback, Anthony Davis. It winds up in the 28 of Ohio State, 3rd down and 5. Southern Cal in possession, and here's Swan going out, and Boulware coming in as a wide receiver. And timeout on the officials as George Hazenhall comes to the sideline. Going in and replacing is Pete Cusick, number 71. I don't know whether there's something wrong with Hazenhall or it's an equipment. No, it seems to be him. On Friday night, Ghost Story becomes a new series of bizarre tales when Circle of Fear premieres. It'll be right here Friday night, 9 o'clock on NBC. 3rd down. 5 to go. USC on the Ohio State 28. No score. 4.5 minutes to play in the first period. There it is again. And Davis skips out of bounds, and they're going to place him out on the Ohio State 25. Rick Middleton forced him out, the junior from Delaware, Ohio.
And the state defense, Kurt, is really playing run. And it's surprising that the Trojans can move it against this defense. Even Doug Plank, number 28, playing that strong safety. He comes driving up there.
USC has had 2 third down attempts Failed to convert either time. Same for Ohio State. Fourth down, 2.5. 4th and 2.5. That's the power I. Ray is going to throw it. And just as he let it go, he was hit. It's incomplete. Ray is decked back there by 71, Pete Cusick, and 88, Van de Cree, who put a marvelous pass rush on him.
They think a great deal of Pete Cusick. He's 6'2", 231, 19 years old. He's a sophomore. The pass protection has been breaking down for the Trojans. There's Pete coming in. Got by Alan Graff, a good guard.
Time out here in the Rose Bowl with a score, Ohio State nothing, USC nothing. The Ohio State backfield has Griffin and Keith in back of Hare, the quarterback. They give it to Griffin, and Archie Griffin's to the 30-yard line. The very first game this youngster started, he gained 239 yards against North Carolina, which was an all-time Ohio State single-game rushing record as an 18-year-old freshman. Mrs. Nixon. Ohio State on their 30-yard line, 2nd down, 5. Both teams have had 4th down plays stopped, deep in the other team's territory. Right on the ground they go. Randy Keith runs at the fullback. You might wonder why Harold Champ Henson is not in it or more. The leading scorer in the nation with 20 touchdowns. Well, Randy Keith is a better blocker, and they're going now to the tailback offense. And they just take Henson out, but Griffin's been running well. So they've been having Keith in there to block for Griffin. Now Henson has gone into the game. Holy Cross, there's Keith out. Holy Cross is out. They have a 3rd down now and about a half yard to go. Just short of their 35. This is their power attack right here, the old straight T. They give it to Henson, and he wriggles off his left guard. He's hit there by Charles Anthony, number 55, the linebacker, and it's a 1st down for Ohio State.
The Trojans continue to use their 50 defense, a 5-man line, 2 linebackers. Really, they're playing the end positions, but they really look more like linebackers. They're not that big. The attack, Kurt, again, if you can hit right at that middle man and get one block on a linebacker.
This Hare is dangerous on sprint outs. He has long, loping strides. 1st down, Ohio State on their 36. No score. Late in the first period. Fumble, and it's scooped up by USC. Coming up with the ball is Charles Phillips, number 49. That ball squirted out of Griffin's hands. There's the first turnover in the game. And the USC defense all year forced mistakes. It was so quick and aggressive. So USC has the ball. Phillips, by the way, is a 2nd-string right cornerback, or whatever side of the field they want him to play on. Southern Cal now on the Ohio 38-yard line with 2 minutes, 41 seconds to go in the first period. No score. Mike Ray puts them down. In motion is Lynn Swan. Fake to Davis. Throws it out to the tight end, Charlie Young, in a crossing pattern. And the All-American tight end, the best he's ever coached, says McKay, is out of bounds on the Ohio State 26. They call Young the tree He is 6 feet 4 1/2, weighs 230. So that play goes for a first down.
Kurt, both offensive lines have some outstanding players. John Hicks of Ohio State is a true All-American. Woody Hayes says he's the greatest, and that's saying something, offensive lineman he has. Pete Adams, 77, a very good one for the Trojans.
First down, Southern California, Ohio State 26. McKay is in now as a wide receiver. The flip is to Davis. Davis to the 15 and down to the 10. And finally piled up at the 7 by Randy Gradishar. Oh, he just glides with those.
Boy, you're right, Kurt, and he just gets super people out in front of him. This is really student body right. There's Graff. There's Cunningham. That's Charles Young making a block. Student body right goes pretty good.
3 weeks after the Rose Bowl game, Anthony Davis will report to the USC baseball team. He's an outfielder, and they say he's a brilliant prospect. That's one of the reasons he came to school. He wanted to play baseball at USC under Daydew, their famous baseball coach. Davis hit. Boy, was he decked there at the 10. A great charge by Pete Cusick, number 71, a sophomore. That's the way. That's a quick charge by a tackle across that line. Well, they lost 3. It's second down now and 10 for a USC touchdown. They send McKay left. Swan is the slot back inside of him. Anthony Davis has already made 50 yards in the game. And they're throwing to Swan for a touchdown. Swan for the score. Lynn Swan, a Foster City, California junior. A punt returner, a great pass receiver, and a runner on the flanker reverse.
And he was wide open, Kurt. Got some good protection. Easy TD. By the way, George Hazenall is still out of the game. They're working on his right arm. Mike Scannell is in there.
Well, they took advantage of the first turnover. They went 38 yards in 4 plays, and they score with 1:30 to go in the first period. Mike Ray. The Pat Hayden holding. Ray's kick is up, and it is good. So USC finally struck. They were outplayed for about the first 2/3 of the first period. And there's Swan. Bad news to opponents next year. He'll be back. And there goes the Trojan horse across the field. An imposing figure.
Now we talk about Anthony Davis kicking off. He does kick off, but very wisely. John McKay doesn't send him down. On the kickoff team, he will hit the ball, and then he plays defensive safety.
So tailback Anthony Davis will kick off. Archie Griffin, Brian Baschnagel, and Tim Holycross are back deep. Griffin's the middleman. This one is coming to Baschnagel, a freshman on the 5. Keeping that ball away from Griffin. He's trying to get outside. Hayes up to the 25, 30. He gets a move here, 40. Beautiful run by a freshman, Brian Baschnagel of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, who is a star of the future for Ohio State. He was a good pass receiver and has the moves to be a dangerous runner. A 39-yard kickoff return by Baschnagel. Jim Givhan, a reserve end, brought him down. So good operating position now for Ohio State. They're on their own 44-yard line. So far, USC's had the ball 6:22. Ohio State 7 minutes in the game. There's a pass to Holycross, nearly intercepted by Eddie Johnson, number 11. That ball would have been floated higher. Holycross was running by Eddie Johnson. The play-action pass. That's the first pass that Ohio State's attempted in the game.
He's now in the 2nd and 10, Kurt. Not the greatest position. He likes to use Rick Galbos He has an opportunity outside. The linebackers, as we have indicated, are playing inside.
Sophomore Davis is 50 yards. Freshman Griffin is 43 yards. Here's the option. They pitch it to Griffin. Gets up to his 45, and they seal him in. That's what USC does very well with their speed. That's James Sims, a very quick end up front, 41, and Charlie Phillips, a cornerback, 49. Hard to run outside on this team.
Right, Kurt. They played that option well. One guy played off the blocker. The next one was going to take the run away from the quarterback, forcing the pitch, and the halfback came up and made the play.
John McKay, with his team leading 7-0, has taken Sims out. And Ed Powell has gone as a defensive end. Here's Herr. His pass is good to the 39-yard line of USC. Tim Holycross, and Herr drilled that one in there. This fellow is a good passer. He has a very strong arm on him.
He does, Kurt. He shows it here. He is big and rangy and kind of the tradition of the Ohio State quarterbacks. And Woody Hayes has had some good ones.
First down for Ohio State on the USC 39. We're in the last 20 seconds of the first period. Holycross is spread to the right. He's the only man outside. And bursting through is Archie Griffin. And the freshman runs it to the 25-yard line. With these quick hitters up the middle, the Ohio State front wall of Tregel, Luke, and Bonica is opening up holes.
Right. Remember, Steve Luke is their late replacement, and he's doing a fine job against this 5. There's a good block, pull away, really, from Charles Anthony right to the safety man. This is the kind of play, Kurt, that made this man get some 772 yards this year.
And he already has 59 yards in this game, Al. Archie Griffin in the first period gained 59 yards in the ground. That's the end of the first quarter. The score, USC 7, Ohio State nothing.
A His and Hers guide to Big Dodge 73. For her, more room, more beauty and comfort with automatic transmission and power steering standard. For him, rugged torsion bar suspension, power front disc brakes, dependable electronic ignition, and one of the biggest trunks in America. And for both of you, a price that may surprise you. Extra care and engineering makes a difference in the Big Dodge. Depend on it.
Men, watch Joe Namath get creamed. Let's not see my cream your face, so the razor won't. Let's not see my cream your face, so the razor don't.
The closer you shave, the more you need creamy, soothing, medicated Noxzema.
Let's not see my cream your face, so the razor don't.
That's the Ohio State band, Kurt Gowdy and L.D. Rogatis, beginning the second period. Ohio State's on the Southern Cal 25-yard line with a first down. Greg Hare to Randy Keith. And Randy Keith cracks forward to the 21-yard line of USC, hit there by Richard Wood. And George Fuller, who now is playing the middle guard.
Right, Kurt. And if Ohio State is trying to take the wide sweeps away from USC, USC obviously better try to take that inside play, and Follett is going to be a key man. He's head on the center.
Second down, 6. Galbos at the 15. He is to the 4 and the 3. Rick Galbos, the senior from Mentor, Ohio, and the offensive captain. Watch this reserve.
What a beautiful play, too, Kurt. They beat the same hole, but it was a great call. Ohio State has lost one game this year, and in that game they lost to Michigan State. The only game they were outrushed. Now let's watch Follett, a key spot in the 5. Steve Luke over the ball. Good shot of it.
And USC has called a timeout.
There it is. Went the wrong way. Took the fake just a bit. Follett.
USC has called a time. Elmer Lippert now is going into the Ohio State backfield, replacing a brilliant freshman, Archie Griffin, who has really sparkled here so far. Lippert's a junior from Sandusky, Ohio. He's only 5'7". One thing about Ohio State, when they get inside the 10-yard line, they usually score. That's been their pattern this year. They don't mess around inside. We'd like to thank today and to extend a welcome home to Bob Hope and his troupe of entertainers. Bob returned Saturday from his 22nd trip to entertain U.S. servicemen who spend their holidays away from their families. And the 90-minute Bob Hope Christmas special with highlights of the trip will be aired Wednesday night, January 17th, right here on NBC. Welcome home, Bob. First down, goal to go. Ohio State on the USC 3-yard line. USC leading 7-0. Full house backfield. And Randy Keith takes it to the 1-yard line. It'll be second down and a yard to go for an Ohio State touchdown. Charles Phillips and Richard Wood made that stop.
20 touchdowns Harold Champ Henson has had this year, and this is where he has sparkled. He led the nation in scoring with 120 points, number 38.
John Smyrna went in there as a tight end. Number 85, second down, a yard to go for a touchdown. And he's in, Randy Keith. Randy Keith scores. And Ohio State comes right back. Running against the bonded USC defense, ripped them open.
Well, we knew this team was ready. We knew it yesterday when we talked to Woody. We knew it just watching them. Now, they've been giving it to Henson. Keith rarely gets it. He blocks. They gave it to him that time, and he did the job. Nice job, Keith.
And he scores with 13:37 to play in the first half. A freshman, Bashnagle, holds it for Conway. It is up, and the kick is good. We've got a tie game. The score early in the second period, Ohio State 7, USC 7.
McDonald's Big Mac, open wide and say, Big Mac, Big Mac. It's a meal in a stack. Crack open a pack and say, to Big Mac. Lettuce and cheese. It's time is sure to be a double helping of meat. Or a cake that is complete. You deserve a break today. So get on back, get away to McDonald's.
Conway will kick off to the man who ran 2 kickoffs back, 97, 96 yards against Notre Dame, Anthony Davis. And they're spotting the ball on the far hash mark. Now they've changed to Kuhn, a freshman, Ken Kuhn. And here we go. This game is now tied. Ken Kuhn. And he flubbed that one. Grabbed there on the 28-yard line, back to the 30, into the 38-yard line for USC. One of the short men up front is Chris Vella, the second-string tight end. So USC has pretty fair field position. Ohio State has just moved 56 yards to score in 8 plays. USC on their 30, let's call it their 38, the shade closer to 38. Senior quarterback Mike Ray, voted the most valuable player in the Pacific Coast Conference. Couldn't even make the All-Pac-8 team, though. Davis slips away, and he's belted out of bounds. There was a great rush by Shad Williams, who had his hands on him behind the line of scrimmage. It was finally Rick Middleton, number 32, who's made 3 or 4 outstanding tackles so far. Second down, 10 to go for USC.
We'll probably see, Kurt, USC trying to do a little bit of the attack that Ohio State is working successfully straight up. The state team is going to take away, or at least try to take away, the student right and student left that we've been calling.
McKay's to the left, Swan's to the right. Ray on the straight drop back. Now he's a scrambler. He throws on the run and heaves it out of bounds. George Hazenhall had the rush on him. He's back in there. The All-American tackle Hazenhall pressured him. Now watch him on this rush.
See that right arm, Kurt? That was what was bothering him. It's wrapped up. It's a bruising thing. Notice he's keeping that right arm out of there, so it must be punishing him a little bit. Takes Graff straight up. He got Graff.
Ray has tossed 10 times, completed 5 for 58 yards. 3rd and 10. USC on their 38. And there's a rush again. And he hits his tight end, Young, who made a great play out of that one. And he was the safety valve man, and I'll tell you, that was dangerous when he flipped that ball out to Young. They're close to the first down, but not quite there. They're a yard away. Parker comes in. The punter's in there, Dave Boulware. It's 4th down and a yard to go. Southern Cal on their own 46. And they're going into a punt formation. Tim Holycross going back to the deep safety man for Ohio State. Wobbles this one up. And Ohio State will have the ball deep in their own territory. Let's see, they touched that ball back on the 13. So while Ohio State gets ready to go now, we'll pause with the score. Ohio State 7, USC 7.
Your battery is pulled by the headlights, drained by the radio, weakened by the wipers, dragged by the heater and air conditioner. But starting drains more than all the others put together. That's why Goodyear packs the powerhouse battery with more reserve power than the 5 best-selling batteries. When those other batteries give up and die, Goodyear calls up the reserves. Powerhouse, only from Goodyear.
Dodge will go to any length to give you the pickup you need. First, there's our standard size pickup, right here. Then if you need more room, we'll give you the club cab with 34 cubic feet of space behind that seat. And finally, if you've got a big crew, there's a big crew cab. Standard cab, club cab, crew cab. Only Dodge gives you all 3.
Ohio State has gained twice as many yards in the ground as USC in this game, 104 to 55. The leading rusher is freshman Archie Griffin with 59 yards. And they run that fullback, Randy Keith. That's the old Ohio State, 3 yards in a cloud of green dust down here in the Rose Bowl to the 17-yard line of Ohio State, 2nd down, 6. You know they're coming, but there's not much you can do about it.
Well, you know, Curtin, until there is a change, really, in defensive strategy, Woody is going to stay with it. He's going to work on that 5, work on the man over the center. Monty Davis is back in there. A lot of pressure on the 2 linebackers.
Henson comes back in at fullback. Also a wide receiver, Bradshaw's in. They give the ball to Harold Champ Henson, who works on the family farm in Asheville, Ohio during the summer. He's over his 20 to his 21, taken down there by James Sims. Now it is 3rd down and a long 2 to go for Ohio State. Our game is tied 7-7. 11:30 to play in the first half. Randy Keith back in at fullback. 3rd down and 2. And they're stopped. Archie Griffin stopped on his 23-yard line by Richard Wood, the sophomore linebacker. And the wind is swirling up again, very strong now. gusting around 25, 30 miles an hour. We'll have a timeout for measurement. I'd just like to remind you that NBC's coverage of the National Hockey League action will continue next Sunday, January 7th, with a game between the Boston Bruins and the Chicago Blackhawks at 3 o'clock Eastern Time, right here on NBC.
Kurt, just to set that defense, and they're looking at this measurement just short. They'll be punting. But just to set that defense, again, it's a very wide 5 with Richard Wood and Charles Anthony going on the outside shoulder of the middle man on the center. Woody Hayes' strategy is attack the 5 in a straight line. They're doing rather well with it.
All right, let's set up the punting. Gary Lago in punt formation. Lynn Swan. Bad pass, he's in trouble. Hey, he got it away. And bounding around in USC territory and winds up on the USC 45. Well, how's that for getting out of trouble? First down USC on their own 45-yard line. 32-yard punt from scrimmage.
And you know, Kurt, being an ex-high school center, I know that it's kind of tough making that snap, and I imagine if you're a sophomore, as Steve Luke is, in the Rose Bowl game, it must be really tough.
USC has been outgained in this game so far. They're tied 7-7. They're at least a 2-touchdown favorite. They're on their 45-yard line. There's the option to Davis. He's up to the 50, and he's bulldogged down in Ohio State's 46-yard line by Van de Cree, the wide defensive end. So that gives USC a second down and a yard to go.
We get a chance, Kurt. I'd like to try to get a good shot of Charles, not Charles Anthony, but Sam Cunningham. Sam Bam Cunningham, number 39. For a big man, he's got great speed, and he's a devastating blocker.
Dave Boulware in now as a wide receiver. He'll be a slot back. Lynn Swan is out. Jessel Garrison is flanked outside of him. Second down, a yard to go. And a good down to pass on. He unloads on him. They really unloaded on Ray back in the 37. Then Dupree and Arnold Jones, a blitzing linebacker, Jones. And what a charge Dupree has had today.
Boy, he does, Kurt. Moving very well. Hayes and all coming with him. Pete Adams retreating. Now it gets difficult. Pete has the feeling he's doing what he's supposed to do, but when that quarterback comes out of that pocket, it gets awfully tough. Big loss.
Loss of 17. It's third down and 18 to go. They had second and 1. And Ohio State smelled the pass all the way. Swan back in as a slot back. Third down, long yardage. They swing it out to Anthony Davis. Gets away at the 35 and bumped out of bounds on the Southern Cal 41. But now it's fourth down and 14 to go. So on third down attempts today, USC has tried 5 and has failed to convert once. Ohio State's had 5 third down situations, and they have converted 1. Fourth down. Punt formation, Dave Boulware, Tim Holycross back of the safety man, along with Doug Plank, number 28. 9 minutes to play and a half. It's tied 7-7. The low kick. Cross fields it on his 23 to the 25 and slithers through, nearly got away. From number 77, Pete Adams.
Well, up to this point, Kurt, the Ohio State team is definitely outplaying USC. Now, USC is arm tackling. They're really not coming. Their offensive line isn't blowing off the ball. Sorry.
All right, we'll get back to that, Al. We're going to have a timeout now here in the Rose Bowl with just under 9 minutes to play and a half. And the score, USC 7, Ohio State 7.
I'm Bill Russell. In business, as in basketball, you have to block the other guy's shot to get ahead. And then again, there are instances when you have to be at both ends of the court at the same time. I found a way to handle that, too. Say I'm in New York and have to score points with a guy on the West Coast. I do it by long distance. I can talk to the guy, feel him out. see where it's coming from, he can do the same, you know. That way we can reach an understanding in no time at all. It's a fact. Long distance is the next best thing to being there. So get with it, businessman. Score some points the easy way. Hey, miss! I can't miss by long distance.
Ohio State's ball, first down on their 23-yard line. They hold the edge in statistics so far. Archie Griffin is upset at his 24-yard line. And he was dumped by Charles Phillips, the cornerback, and number 83, Richard Batman Wood. Second down, 9. USC been behind only a couple of times all year, early against Arkansas and early in the game against Illinois. Aside from that, they have been ahead of their opponents all the way, and they have been a tremendous third and fourth quarter team this year. They've blown everybody out of the ballpark in the second half. Second down, 9. Ohio State sticking on the ground except once, and that's Rick Galbos, the wingback. James Sims tackled him, and Phillips. Third down and 3. Let's check the rushing figures for both teams. USC was expected to run on Ohio State today, but in rushing, they'll have to add it up. Third down, 3 to go. Here's the option. Griffin trying to slip outside. You saw those quick feet. He goes out of bounds on his 35, and he has a first down for Ohio State. Archie Griffin.
Sure, we have to keep in mind the only game, again, that Ohio State lost this year, they were outrushed. Michigan State got more yards than they did. So far today, Ohio State is outrushing a pretty good, a very good USC defensive team.
And Al, this freshman Griffin now against the #1 ranked team in the country has 67 yards in the first half alone. First down, Ohio State on their 35. Fullback Keith jamming ahead to the 38. He's playing much more than everybody thought he would be today. A 3-yard gain, second down, 7. The hope for Ohio State, they said, don't get behind early and be able to move the ball some to control the clock. And that's what's happened.
Now, we've talked about Sims, who's number 41. 85, also, Dale Mitchell runs real well. He's got the wide side of the field. Sims, rather, has the wide side of the field.
Second down, 7 for the Buckeyes of Ohio State on their 38. Counter play is given off to Keith again. He's to the 41-yard line of Ohio State, tackled by Monty Doris, the middle guard of the Trojans, with help there from George Follett.
We're seeing what they're trying to attack. Rich Wood is coming in. Follett is now in at right defensive tackle. Monty Doris is in over the center. USC must stop that inside play. That's been hurting them all afternoon.
Harold Henson replaces Keith at fullback. Ohio State's attempted only 2 passes. 3rd and 4 for Ohio State on their 41. Henson is pulled down on his 44-yard line by James Sims again, number 41.
Well, they're really popping in there. Again, you see Luke going off the ball, trying to block on Monty Darvis. Charles Anthony moving to the play. He stopped in there. Sims, not too big, but very quick.
Gary Lago goes into a punt formation. Centering the ball back will be Tom Nixon now. They had a bad snap the last time. Fairly good one. And he kicks a low one to Lynn Swan on the 22. Swan at the 25. And is hammered down on his 21-yard line by Tom Nixon, who centered the ball back. While they line up, we pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network. Kurt Gowdy and L.D. Rogatis. The Rose Bowl, an all-time record crowd of over 104,000. A sunny day, temperature in the 60s, and a gusty wind blowing. And the game now settled into a defensive duel between the two 30-yard lines. 5:34 to play in the first half. It's 7-7. Ray on the option to Davis. Davis at the 25 to 30. Breaking 40. And is finally hauled down on the 48-yard line of USC by Pete Cusick and Arnold Jones.
Well, I think AD is great. But watch number 39 lead the play. When you're as fast as that man is, he wipes out Neil Colsey over there. Arnold Jones comes over. Strong man. That's a sign of great balance. They say he's got excellent eyes, Kurt. He really can see that defense extremely well.
Anthony Davis just left the game after this 27-yard run. He now has 86 yards in the first half. Anthony Davis, replaced by McNeil. And Sam Bam Cunningham trying to go up the middle. Stopped cold by Pete Cusick. This is some... Middle stopped cold by Pete Cusick. This is some sight here in this college football game to see a freshman, Griffin, with over 60 yards in the first half, and a sophomore, Anthony Davis, with over 80 yards on the ground. Now Davis is back into the game, replacing Rod McNeil, whose brother plays at UCLA, and they live together. Second down. USC on their 49-yard line. They have a second down 9. They've been tied 7-7 so far. There goes the flag down. There's Davis again squirting through. And he's to the 34 for a first down if the penalty's not against USC. But a flag was dropped back in the backfield of USC. Somebody may have moved, Al.
I think
legal
so,
procedure.
We were talking about his eyes, and there was an indication of it. He's got great body balance, excellent eyes, but he's always looking at that secondary. This young man has tremendous balance.
We already said the penalty was for illegal procedure. So the ball is back now on the 44-yard line of Southern Cal.
14 to go.
The second down, 14 to go, and that wiped out the long gain in the first down. Game tied 7-7, 4 minutes, 10 seconds to play in the half. Davis and Cunningham behind Ray. Ray flares it out to Davis at the 40. Trying to make his moves and can get it back to the 46. Charles Beecroft, the second string tackle on him there. Now it's third down and 12 yards to go for USC.
The state team looks like they're using a 4-3. It's a little different type of 4-3. We indicated early they're playing their interior 4 rather wide. 2 linebackers in the middle. They're dropping the zone pretty good, giving you short passes really to the outside.
Mike Ray has hit 8 out of 13 for 72 yards. He's presented now with a 3rd and 12. Deep drop back. Now the scramble. And that pass, is it complete? Nobody signaled yet. It must be. Sam Cunningham caught the ball in the diving grab with Randy Granishar right there with him. But they don't have enough for the first down. And this Ohio State team is playing very well against the pass, though.
They really are, Kurt. That defensive front, I'm just tremendously impressed with them. You like the way they're moving across. They're using their hands extremely well, and they're always going after you.
Dave Boulware back in punt formation again. Tim Holycross will be the deep safety. Boulware has a strong wind at his back, but sometimes it's a crosswind. And he drives this one high and deep. It is batted back, but it's a touchback. It was in the end zone. It's a touchback. Ohio State's ball, first down on the 20. Ball across the goal line. So Ohio State will put the ball in play, first down on their own 20-yard line.
They're arguing, Kurt, it didn't bounce in, but it was into the end zone definitely.
have a timeout with the score. Ohio State 7 and USC 7.
This is the newest copier in the IBM line. Aside from sharp, clear copies of ordinary jobs, this plain paper copier makes sharp, clear copies of books, sharp, clear copies of oversized documents, even sharp, clear copies of photographs. And it lets you make them fast. The more you want from a copier, the more we think you'll appreciate this one. The new Copier 2 from IBM.
Is tomorrow the morning you break an old habit? When you stop to think, what good are two edges if you can only shave with one at a time? Schick puts both edges on your side. The Schick Super 2. Two super chromium edges working together for a close, comfortable shave. The Schick Super 2. It's enough to make you break an old habit.
The ball bounced just before the goal line. They're trying to reach up now. They call this illegally batting. It's a touchback, Ohio State's ball on their 20-yard line. Game tied, 7-7, 2:19 to play in the first half. And Rick Galbos, who's been effective every time he's carried the ball, is brought down by the weak side linebacker Charles Anthony. Tackles today, Grant has made 4, Sims is 5, Woods 5, and Phillips 3 for USC. They're on defense right now. Galbos has carried the ball just 4 times, an average of 9.5 yards for 38 yards. It is second down, 3 to go. Ohio State on their own 27. They have fought USC to a standstill. They run the fullback, Randy Keith, to the 30. Ohio State now has gained 144 yards on the ground to 92 for Southern Cal. And it's an Ohio State first down to stop the clock with 1:36 to play in the half.
We've been talking about the offensive center, Luke, but next to him is Chuck Bonica, number 58, an outstanding Big Ten player, an outstanding several All-American mentions, and also Steve Kriegel, number 63 on the left side. 2 good guards.
The old standby Woody Hayes offense plugging away up the middle. That's what they've been doing today. Down in a counter play. Griffin is hit hard at the 34-yard line. So they put the ball in the air just twice. They haven't run much trick stuff. Tonight, right after this game, Nebraska against Notre Dame. That'll be on NBC from the Orange Bowl in Miami. Nebraska, Notre Dame, the Orange Bowl. We have 56 seconds to play in the half. 2nd and 6 for Ohio State. Here's Hare. He's throwing a wobbly pass out to the 50. I think he was undecided. He was trying to hit the tight end, Fred Puggich. Down deep, he was really trying to go after Bradshaw, but he saw he was covered, and then he changed his mind right in the middle of his delivery, and that's why the pass went out there sort of half-heartedly and fell to the turf, incomplete.
Right, they've got now, Kurt, the 5 defensive backs. Richard Wood is off on the far sideline. He is out. You see him standing there with Coach John McKay. They're going to try to take away the pass.
The number 1 and number 3 ranked teams meeting here in this game. 3rd down and 6 for Ohio State. And they go to the 37. And that's all. Archie Griffin met there by Ken Gray, number 37, a sophomore linebacker from San Pedro, California. A timeout. Southern Cal has called a time. They have 1 left now in this half. 37 seconds remaining. And it'll be 4th down. Gary Lago has come on to do the punting. Tom Nixon will center the ball.
Really interesting, Kurt, the way this wind suddenly calms down just completely. There isn't a breeze right now, which obviously will be very helpful to number 22, Lynn Swan, who will be catching this punt.
Shadows are starting to creep out from the near side. Well, Ohio State has played themselves some football game here in the first half. They fell behind 7-0. They had an early drive stopped on the 20-yard line of Southern Cal. And Ohio State came back in 8 plays, went 56 yards for the score. They've outgained USC. They've stopped them on big passing plays, and they've been plugging away. Let's see what happens now in this 4th down kick. Lynn Swan, who's averaged 14 yards of punt return, is deep for the Trojans. He's the single safety. Very dangerous man. They go after him, and he just got it away. The kicker went down, and he's claiming that he was roughed by number 85 in there, Dale Mitchell. Let's watch it now in a rerun. Is he hit? Take a look.
Yeah, he went for that foot pretty good, Kurt. This is the way you try to block a kick. Good call.
He missed him. He went right by him.
Pretty good act, though.
Fine act. USC and UCLA have very good dramatic schools. I'd say Lego's in the wrong school. It'll be a first down for USC on their 41, but he did quite a job getting rid of that kick. 31 seconds to go in the half. Let's see how USC plays it now. It's a tie game, 7-7. Ray starts the option, spins it out to Davis. Davis goes for the sideline and is out of bounds. Van de Cree, who's been outstanding as a defensive end today for Ohio State, who's run with excellent lateral pursuit, ran Anthony Davis out. 26 seconds to go in the half. And here's a penalty being marched off against USC. USC has not been able to get on track much here in this first half, except for one drive. That's a clipping penalty against USC. Carries their ball back to their 28-yard line and makes it 1st and 25.
You know, it's interesting, the talented linebackers that we have been seeing all year, particularly today. Randy Gradishar, very good. Arnold Jones, unheralded but good. Rick Middleton could be a surprise. This boy could be outstanding.
First down now. Long yardage, 6 seconds to go in a half. Ray's going to throw it, and it's at the 40-yard line. The Charles Young is tied in, and he's tackled on the 46 of USC. So that is the second reception for Charles Young. USC has called a timeout, and that's all the timeouts they have now here in the first half. 18 seconds remaining. Well, we knew that this sophomore Anthony Davis was good, but Al, he has averaged just a little better than 7 yards a carry, 86 yards in the first half.
You know what's incredible, Kurt? He's 18, as you say. He is a freshman, but being able to read that offensive blocking as well as he does. Now, this is a trait, really, of Woody Hayes. He says you can drill a team dull or you can drill it sharp. Well, he's drilled this team sharp, and that young man watches the blocks extremely well and has a great burst.
It'll be a second down. And about 4 to go. Coming on now is Manfred Moore. A play being sent in. Manfred Moore at fullback. Mike Ray's coming back to the huddle. Sam Cunningham goes out. 18 seconds for Southern Cal, undefeated in their last 16 games. Their closest game this year has been by 9 points against Stanford. They have one of the most impressive point spreads over their opponents in recent years in college football, and they've been tied today. Played to a standstill. 7-7 here at the end of the first half. 11 wins in a row. It's sorely pressed today. They have spread them wide. Ray gets out of that pass rush. Broken pattern maybe at the 40-yard line. It's to Charlie Young again. The tight end is hammered down at the 33. And a fumble there. They fumble the ball. Coming up with her is Doug Plank, number 28. There are only 5 seconds to go.
Made an excellent move, Kurt. It was a good hit. They really popped him, and he did fumble. But you've got to like this boy. He continued to give Mike Ray, who was in real trouble here, a passing plane.
That's the All-American tight end Young. Now watch him here. Jeff Davis hits him. Davis is out when that big tight end hit him. And on the fumble, Doug Plank came up with it. So in the last 5 seconds of the half, it's Ohio State's ball. Down they go to Hare. They're going to run the clock out. And that's it. That's the end of the first half of the 1973 Rose Bowl game with a score. Ohio State 7, USC 7.
Would you please stop that racket?
When headache pain and the tension it can build bring out the worst in you, take Anacin. Watch. Anacin starts with as much pain reliever as the leading aspirin tablet, then adds an extra core of this specific ingredient against pain. Her headache's gone, and so's its tension. Anacin relieves headache pain, and so its tension. Anacin.
Hey, look! Hey! Mister, you've got that spelled wrong.
No, it's convert triple.
Convertible?
Well, it means 3 cars in one. Like this. See, this is my car over here, the new Dodge Dart Sport.
But why 3 cars in one?
It's a 5-seat economy car, right?
Right.
It's convertible, too. That's the optional sunroof. Okay, now flip the optional fold-down rear seat and open the trunk.
Dad, it's a wagon, too. Oh, I want to ride in the wagon. I want to ride in the...
Dart Sport. It can give a guy quite a choice.
We'll have halftime activities in just a moment. Right now, we pause for station identification.
A man returns to life as an insect and widens the circle of fear. Friday at 9, 8 Central Time.
Where's the other kid? 4-9, yeah.
Less than 30 for the elbow guard.
This 1973 Rose Bowl game is brought to you by your Chrysler Plymouth dealer, highlighting Plymouth Satellite for 1973, and by Goodyear, makers of the new custom steel guard radial tires, and by Texaco and the many thousands of independent retailers and distributors in all 50 states. And now the USC band. We're here at halftime of the Rose Bowl, and our game is tied 7-7.
One of the most important parts of any song is the lyrics. Many of today's popular tunes carry social messages through their lyrics. For an example, you only need to tune into your radio and listen to Chicago's latest rock hit, Dialogue. medium of television, music both creates and heightens emotions to enhance what you see. Sit back, relax, and listen while the Trojan Marching Band dances to Isaac Hayes' theme from The Men. Music and movies go hand in hand. Many movies have been based on the lives of famous musical personalities. The hottest movie in America today is Lady Sings the Blues, based on the life of jazz singer Billie Holiday. And now to sing Love Is Here to Stay from that movie, the Trojan Marching Band proudly presents its star, Miss Diana Ross.
Clear, our love is here to stay, not for a year, but ever and a day. The radio and the telephone and the movies that we know may just be past in fancy and in time may go. But oh my dear, our love is here to stay. Together we're going a long, long way. In time the Rockies may crumble, Gibraltar may tumble, they're only made of clay. But our love is here to stay. May just be passing fancies, but in time may go. Whoa, my dear, our love is here to stay. Together we're going a long, long way. In time the Rockies may crumble, Gibraltar may tumble, they're only made of clay. But our love is here to
The USC band, the score is Ohio State 7, USC 7, as we get ready for the second half kickoff in the 1973 Rose Bowl game.
I'm John Brody. This is the most exciting radial tire of its time, the new Goodyear Custom Steel Guard Radial, a 40,000-mile tire with 5 guards to help protect you 5 ways. In my business, I know all about great protection. And so does Goodyear in theirs. The Steel Guard radial helps you get great protection, too. Look at this giant model. It's the radial that helps guard against rough ride, against penetration under the tread, against wet skids, against loss of road contact, and against sluggish handling. I couldn't ask for any better protection myself. Great protection for great control. That's what you get with a Steel Guard radial. The confidence of control. And that's the 5-guard feeling, only from Goodyear.
Very even, as you can see. Yards rushing, Ohio State has double the yards in the ground of USC, which is a surprise. No surprise if USC is dominated in passing because they've thrown the ball 16 times to just 3 for Ohio State.
Interesting duel between Anthony Davis. He has 86 yards on the ground. His team has 75 all told, but Anthony Davis has 86. 16-yard loss to Mike Ray is what threw him back. 15 carries, 73 yards for Archie Griffin. Archie is averaging 4.9 a carry, 7.2 for Anthony Davis. That's quite a duel. The receiving end, it's been passes to, mostly short passes, to Charlie Young, to Anthony Davis, and to Lynn Swan. 16 thrown, 11 completed by Ray, 3 thrown, 1 completed by Greg Hare.
All right, it's 7-7. Kurt Gowdy and L.D. Rogatis as we head into the second half. And let's see now if USC opens up. The 14.5-point favorites have been held to the tie. And here's a cross kick, a short one. Sam Cunningham upended at the 44, but that short kick gives USC excellent field position. Kevin Fletcher making the tackle. First down for Southern Cal on their 43-yard line. Mike Ray will be the quarterback again.
Kurt, only twice all year both of these teams been tied at halftime. USC tied by Arkansas 3-3 and 0-0 in the rain against Oregon.
Anthony Davis and Sam Cunningham behind Ray. Swan is going in motion. The pitch is to Davis. Davis spilled out of bounds on his 47-yard line by George Hazenhall, number 70, the left tackle. They'll have Hazenhall and Cusick as the 2 tackles, 70 and 71. Decree playing the wide side of the field as defensive end. He's been outstanding. And Cope is the short side of the field in number 91. Middleton, Gradishar, Jones, and Plank, the 4 men right in back of that front 4. Tim Fox, Rich Parsons, and Jeff Davis are the deep men. Second down, 6. They run Davis, and he is slowed up that time. He was hit first by Shad Williams, number 79. And then sealing it off was number 42, Arnold Jones. Ball's now on the 48-yard line of Southern Cal. They have a 3rd and 5. Manfred Moore's in at fullback, replacing Sam Cunningham. The wind is in favor of Ohio State here in the 3rd quarter. And a gusty, windy day here. Ray dropping, throwing to the sideline, completing it to Lynn Swan. And he skips out of bounds on the Ohio State 41.
You saw an interesting defensive move there. When Manfred Moore went into the game, that meant pass to Ohio State. Ohio went with a 3-man rush. There are 2 outside men, and you saw one of them there dropped off. The 3-man rush, the linebackers tried to take away the outside.
So Swan has caught his 3rd pass. Cunningham's back in a fullback now. J.K. McKay and Lynn Swan are wide to the left. USC hasn't been able to move much in the ground. In the air, it's been different. Davis taking that tackle. Forced down on the 35-yard line. He broke Hazenhall's tackle first. Finally, it was Doug Plank that nailed him, helped by Van Decree.
Here it is again. Now, this boy has not only got speed, but he's got power. That's Gradishar. He's big, and he is strong. Pulls away from Gradishar. This is the pursuit now that helps out. The outside pursuit is really what makes it.
Anthony Davis Top sophomore in the Pac-8 Conference, now has picked up 96 yards on the ground. Manfred Moore is replaced. He's in there again at fullback. The option play. Oh, again. Surrender on Mike Ray. What a charge by Gradishar, who blitzed. Randy Gradishar blitzing. 4 or 5 times they've really put Ray under the pressure today with tremendous charges.
You're right, Kurt. They've got this team figured out extremely well. You saw the good play by the halfback coming up, going under it. That was Plank. Gradishar comes up and wipes it away.
Now it's 3rd down and 17. USC on the Ohio State 48. The game is tied 7-7 early in the second half. Ray fires deep to Swan. He has him. Laid it in there perfectly at the 25. Lynn Swan forced out by Sonny Hughes. A great throw, though, by Mike Ray in this treacherous wind.
And you know, Kurt, Ray had been coming out of that pocket in the first half. This time he stayed in it, gave his team time to protect, and laid it right there perfectly. Plank knocks him out of bounds.
13 out of 18 for Mike Ray, who didn't even place in the first or second all-conference team, but won the Pop Warner Award as the most valuable player in the Pac-8 Conference. How do you figure that one out? On 1st down, Ray again, sideline pass. It's good to J.K. McKay. McKay, and it's USC in the air now, picking Ohio State apart. McKay, you'll notice that Fu Manchu mustache, the coach's son, and the long hair. Great human interest story. The father and the son together now at USC. 50 colleges tried to recruit McKay. He and Pat Hayden, who will be the quarterback for USC next year, are one of the outstanding passing combinations in the history of California high school circles. And Hayden lived in the coach's home in their senior year because Hayden's parents had moved to San Francisco. And young McKay and Hayden did not want to be separated and want to finish their senior year together.
Kurt, it was kind of interesting when John was telling us that he would go upstairs, and he knew those coaches and scouts were downstairs talking to his son, and he wanted young J.K. to make his own decision, and that's the kind of a man John McKay is.
And they've tacked a personal foul on now, half the distance to the goal. They give Southern Cal the ball on the Ohio State 6-yard line with a 1st and 6 to go. That's the first Ohio State penalty in the game. Ray under the gun, taking away, throws it out of the end zone. And he just threw it away. He was nearly Derek back at the 20-yard line with Pete Cusick, who has had some pass rushes today, and Shad Williams. I imagine Mike Ray has had more pressure today, even though he's been very effective. He's hit 14 out of 20 now. But several times he's had to throw for his life. Moore out.
In the Cotton Bowl, 17-13, Texas over Alabama.
Moore in. Cunningham is out at fullback. The option to Davis. Davis heading for the flag. Out of bounds on the 2. Arnold Jones drove him out, the linebacker. 3rd down and 2 to go for a USC touchdown.
How many times this Ohio State team, Kurt, held against that great Michigan team, and here they are again, back to the wall, and they're responding just beautifully.
I think they held 12 times inside their 10 in that game, 12 plays. They're going to measure for the 1st down. The USC gaining only 55 yards on the ground in the first half. Came with a passing game and opened up here at the beginning of the second half. They're short. The Yardsticks have still not cleared the field. Anthony Davis is out. Sam Cunningham is in, along with Manfred Moore. So they have their two big fullbacks in for some power down at the goal line. And Ohio State has 4 defensive tackles in there. Down there at the 2-yard line now, digging in. There's a dive by Cunningham. Sam Cunningham, with his famous hurdling dive, has put USC out in front.
There won't be many people that will stop him when he gets in the air. Sam, I guess that's where he gets the bam, Cunningham.
Well, they took that opening kickoff. Here it is again. Sam Cunningham, who has been timed in 10 yards by the USC track coach, Vern Wolf, as the fastest he's ever timed a USC athlete. After that, a little different story, but he could get to that line of scrimmage very quickly. Mike Ray's extra point attempt is good. A 57-yard drive by USC, mostly by passing. Timeout, and the score now is USC 14, Ohio State 7.
So you found a new pad and you're moving your stuff. Well, that's okay. This car's enough. Plymouth Space Duster. You can get a fold-down seat here in the back. Gives you 6.5 feet of space to pack. Whatever you gotta pack in the back. Fully carpeted. Seat folds up, too. With a roof that opens on a country ride, don't cost much extra. Lets the sun inside. Crank shut, too, nice and tight, because the sun don't shine very much at night. Of course, everybody knows that. Plymouth Space Duster. You can get more out of it, because you can get more into it. Plymouth Duster. Extra care and engineering. It makes a difference.
USC's drive, 57 yards in 10 plays. They're out in front 14-7. Now Ohio State will get the ball for the first time in this half. Davis's kick is very short. Randy Keith takes it on the 23, and he is hit there at his own 30. The tackle by number 48 of USC. An earthquake has occurred, as you all know, in Nicaragua. Many thousands of families homeless. If you care to help, send your dollars to CARE, Nicaragua Earthquake Fund, Department 2, New York, New York, 116. And how about the shocking news? Roberto Clemente, the great one, one of the greatest baseball players of all time, lost, evidently killed in a plane crash, on the way to help give relief to those who needed it in Nicaragua. Archie Griffin down to the 31-yard line. He's given us some outstanding thrills on the NBC Game of the Week. And over the years, valuable player, 4 times batting champ. What a World Series he had in 1971. And the governor of Puerto Rico has announced a 3-day mourning period for Roberto Clemente. Lost and evidently killed on his way to Nicaragua to help in relief of the victims there. That's the Ohio State bench. You notice them drinking water there. We want to talk about that in a moment. Here's Griffith, and he's hit at the 23. USC now, evidently, boy, they must have been given some kind of talk at halftime by John McKay. You notice, Al, the Ohio State players drinking water. Their team doctor, Robert Murphy, especially asked us to talk to the high school and college coaches around America about the lack of teams drinking water now. They had 8 deaths last year, heat strokes, lack of water, and he claims that a dehydrated player is a poor performer. And more athletes should drink water. They can drink all they want on the Ohio State team. 3rd down, 7 to go. Greg Hare shoots the pass. He's got a man wide open, and he catches the ball at the USC 45. That's Tim Holycroft. And Ohio State now has a first down on the USC 45.
We've seen a switch of strategy on the part of Southern Cal, and that was to go to the air, and they did it very well. Ohio State now put the ball on the ground. It looked like USC made an adjustment to take away the inside and perhaps weaken themselves up defensively against the pass. Stop the run. Tim Holycroft catches a good pass.
USC is leading 14-7. Ohio State's ball in the Southern Cal 45. Randy Keith breaks through 35-30 and pounds his way to the USC 27. James Sims, the defensive end, brought him down. Another Ohio State first down.
Here it is again. That center's doing a fine job. Monty Doris tries to make the move. Good block is put on Richard Wood. Randy Keith. Oh, he's doing a fine job. Good blocker. Probably a better blocker than Champ Henson.
And Wood is out. Richard Wood, the sophomore, brilliant linebacker. That was an 18-yard gallop by Randy Keith. Ohio State in the Southern Cal 27, first down. There it is to Griffin. And Griffin streaks through. He's down inside the 10. Notice his balance running. He's hit. He keeps moving on his feet. Low center of gravity. Very difficult to knock down.
Boy, you're going to see a good hole. There's good blocking. Good block to the inside. Keith leading the play out. This man has brilliant instinct. Really great instinct. Now, this is the second time Ohio State has responded when USC has scored, and they're in great scoring position now.
I've never seen two better young running backs in one game than Griffin, a freshman, and Davis, a sophomore. First down. They spotted the ball at the 11. They said he went down. And Randy Keith gets a couple, and that's it. When he was met head-on there by the nose guard of USC, Monty Doris. On the 9-yard line of the Trojans. Second down, 8 to go for Ohio State. Ohio State had them tied 7-all at the half. USC went 57 yards to score at the beginning of this half. And now Ohio State is threatening.
Ken Gray, Kurt, who's in there now, number 37 for Rich Wood, was in a bit earlier, and he does a good job. He also is very quick.
And the full house T formation. Griffin, who weighs 185, is stronger, though, than you think he would be. He can get it inside and outside. Monty Doris again brought him down, along with Jeff Winans, the right tackle, number 92. It's on the 6-yard line of Southern Cal. Third down and 5 for a first down. Griffin, in high school in Columbus, Ohio, was a wrestling champion. Third and 5 for Ohio State. Can he get this tough yardage inside? It'll even be more difficult now. And they go inside, and they don't get it. Randy Keith. Well, that's tough to pick 3 or 4 yards up down there against a mass goal line defense. Parker made the stop, and now Blair Conway, the field goal kickers, come on. Brian Baschnagel will hold. It is on the 4-yard line of USC. They have a fourth down and 3 to go. This would be a 21-yard field goal. Be spotted on the 11. And the kick is up. The kick is good by Brian Baschnagel. And I think a flag has been dropped.
Looks like an offside against USC. It looked like the right end on USC went off.
Offside against USC.
Interesting spot now, Kurt.
Right. This would put the ball on the 2-yard line, and they would have a 4th and a yard and a half to go. Or do they go ahead and take the 3 points?
Woody had his hand up here on the sideline.
They want the 3 points. They've got the 3 sure points. They decline the penalty. The kick is good by Ohio State. And the score now, with a timeout, USC 14, Ohio State 10.
Where You can trust your car to the man who has the star, the big bright Mexico star.
Ohio State's drive went 66 yards before it was stopped. Ken Kuhn. There's a cross kick again. And look at this. Cunningham has the ball. And every time they kick it short, they've given USC excellent field position. And it's the kind of club with its throwing ability that's dangerous to give them.
Kerry, we've heard so often how teams are fired after another team scores. We've seen Ohio State now respond twice. We saw USC come back. USC now in great field position, excellent runners. They could put it up in the air. They'll probably try AD again.
That's 100 yards, you see, for Anthony Davis, the sophomore, in 16 carries. First down, Southern Cal under 44. They're leading 14-10 midway in the third period. They send Swan in motion. A fake, and he fires, and it's a completion inside the 35 to the 33. Rich Parsons making the tackle on Lynn Swan, who's caught 3 passes here in the second half. And USC is doing it in the air now. They can't move much on the ground.
Here it is again, Kurt. Wasn't much of a fake. The balanced attack of USC has really helped out. The passing game has come on. Ohio State is shut off, if you can call shutting off a 100-yard runner being shut off. They've shut off the run fairly well.
Very few teams have ever had as many outstanding receivers on one college team as USC has. The pitch is to Davis. He spurts to the 30 and to the 26-yard line before he's brought down by Rich Parsons. 7-yard gain, 2nd and 3. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network. Now, John McKay sends in Sam Cunningham, replacing Manfred Moore at fullback. That last drive Ohio State had, they used up 4 minutes and 9 seconds getting that field goal. Edessel Garrison spreads to the left. 2nd down 3 for USC. Davis downed on the 26-yard line by George Hazenhall, the left tackle of Ohio State, number 70. It'll be a 3rd down and 3 to go for USC. A new Rose Bowl record crowd today, 106,869. If DeRogatis' relatives in here does make it 107,000.
Up to this point, that Hazenhall really has shown a lot on defense, too, Kurt.
3rd and 3. Cunningham picks up the first down. Bams him to the 20-yard line. Jim Cope on the tackle for Ohio State, along with Hazenhall.
Kerry and I had an opportunity to watch both of these teams all week, and we were tremendously impressed with the athletes, their personalities, very dedicated young people. We spent a little time yesterday with USC, and this Charlie Young was quite impressive, Kurt, number 89, that outstanding tight end.
Southern Cal on the Ohio State 20 with a first down. Davis squirting through 10. He's gone! Anthony Davis does his victory dance on his knees. Well, they've had some great runners at this school. Cotton Warburton.
Here it is again. Suddenly, Kurt, the defenses on both teams have been exploited. That balance right there tears away from it. He stretches out. He'll give you that little leap, the knee dance. Pretty good. Here again.
All right, now watch how he breaks tackles. He has very strong legs. That's his secret. And amazing balance. And, of course, we had Mike Garrett, Heisman Trophy winner. O.J. Simpson, maybe the best of them all. Clarence Davis, and now this fella. Ohio State develops fullbacks. USC develops running tailbacks. The kick is good. And now, for the timeout, it is USC 21, Ohio State 10.
My goal as an individual to be financially independent as a single woman. I am very bullish on America.
Jack Whitaker from Merrill Lynch. I've been asking people here in Houston if they're bullish on America. So far, most of them seem to be. But different people have different investment problems.
I'm very bullish at this time. I'm retired, and investment is what I live on.
My biggest financial challenge would be making sure that these two girls of mine, 10 and 14, get a good education, which is, as you know, becoming more expensive all the time.
Different people, all bullish on America, but with different investment problems. That's why Merrill Lynch has 29 different ways to invest, and common stock is just one of them. Ask Merrill Lynch which ways they think are best for you. Merrill Lynch, 29 ways to help you share in America's growth.
The Trojan horse's name, Traveler 2. Magnificent animal. Anthony Davis will kick off. Anthony Davis kicks off. And he booms this one. Nagel coming back with it. And rammed down by number 59 of USC, who is Eugene Lowry. We have a flag drop. 15 yards added onto this one. Puts the ball on the Ohio State 36-yard line. That's a personal foul against Southern Cal. Ohio State first down under 36. What's that for, McKay wants to know.
We've seen it 3 times now, Kurt. The teams are responding. One team scores and the other team comes back. We've said it before. Ohio State has done it twice. They've got another chance now.
5:46 to play in the third quarter. 21-10 in favor of USC. Greg Hare gives the ball to Rich Galbo. Galbo to his 38, and that's it. The Trojans now are stopping the Ohio State running game some. Second down 8. Remember Nebraska against Notre Dame coming up next in the Orange Bowl from Miami, Florida. Right after we leave the air here from Pasadena. The Orange Bowl on NBC.
Kurt, they are stopping him. They're stopping him on a slow play, but not on those quick hitters.
Second down 8. Fake is going to be a throw. Greg Hare gets it out, completes it. Breaking is Archie Griffin, fumbles the ball, and let's see who has it. Ohio State, what a play that was. That's not in Woody Hayes' game plan book.
Here it is again. Good shot from the end zone. He's almost pulled down here. Gets it off in desperation. Got Sims. Grant coming over the top. Here's another indication of strength. Pulls away from Dale Mitchell. Almost breaks it. Gets a side swipe and the ball goes.
Archie Griffin fumbled 3 times and lost in the Michigan game. He's fumbled twice today. A fortunate recovery there by Jim Craigle, the guard. And Ohio State has a first down in the Southern Cal 47. Griffin slammed down on his 47 by Jeff Winans, who made a tremendous charge that time and helps the freshman kid up.
Now Ohio State has moved to more slant-type bursts rather than that straight-up looking at the middle guard and trying to go either way. The running backs have been picking. He has now changed it a bit. He'll probably go back to the straight burst.
Tim Hollycross comes in as a wide receiver replacing Bradshaw. Second down, 10 to go for Ohio State. They're on the Southern Cal 47. And look out. There's 50, and he completes it to Griffin. Griffin's at the 35 and has a first down. I'll tell you one thing, I like is Harris' composure back there. Twice, he has released his ball at the last possible second, and coolly picked out his safety valve man, little Griffin.
How about, you said Griffin, Kurt, how about him, though? A freshman, and here he is responding in the biggest game of his life, and he's always in the right spot.
You've seen a lot of seniors come into a Rose Bowl and have problems. An 18-year-old freshman has played a brilliant game today for Ohio State. Archie Griffin, and so has a sophomore, Anthony Davis, for USC. Ohio State's ball, first down. Trying to run that power slant. It only goes for 2 when Charles Anthony plugs it up, number 55.
We kind of thought we'd see more Greg Hare running that option. In practice, they showed quite a bit of it. Maybe it was a ploy by Woody Hayes. Show it in practice, but don't show it in the game. We know that Greg Hare can do it well. He had a big run against Michigan to help break open that game.
21-10 the score, USC leading. It was tied 7-all at halftime. Ohio State has a second down 8. They're on the USC 33. Harris hit 4 out of 6. Look out, that's intercepted on the way. Running down there is number 49, Phillips. It was off the hands of Eddie Johnson, number 11. A bad pass that time by Greg Hare. He threw that one up for grabs.
And Kurt, if you want to see great speed, they say John Hicks is an All-American. Well, he's the fellow that stopped this play because he came clear across the field. After the interception, you'll see John Hicks, 74. Big man cuts it off here. That's what really prevented the TD.
So the Ohio State Buckeyes had a drive going. Here it is. Watch it tip off the hands of Johnson. And Charlie Phillips, a sophomore from Pasadena, playing in his hometown, takes off. And now the Trojans have the ball on the Ohio State 33. 48 yards on that interception return. Swan going in motion. Mike Ray on the counter to Davis, 25-20. Davis breaks it inside the 15. Rich Parsons, the safety man, had to hit him. And Anthony Davis on his way to a big day here in the Rose Bowl.
Just a beautiful personal duel now between A.D. Anthony Davis. Good-looking birds, good blocking. He and Griffin. And Kurt, I won't be at all surprised if we see this man gain 200 yards today.
And for Moore and his fullback. Davis now has 145 yards on the ground. A sophomore. Play action pass, complete to Charlie Young. And Young goes to the 3. And now Ray is mixing him up. Inside, outside. Passing. A beautiful attack that the Trojans have. No wonder they've averaged 36 points a game. They can hurt you in a lot of ways.
You know, John McKay said it's awfully tough getting ready for a bowl game. He's played 3, that's Woody Hayes. He's played 3 games in 2 months. And it's very difficult to get your team sharp. I think that first half has helped USC.
They have the 2 fullbacks in there now. Anthony Davis leads the game. Let's see if they dive Cunningham again. He's great on that dive play. There he goes, and he stopped short. A flag is down, though. They've dropped the flag. Offside against Ohio State. Van Decree is arguing, number 88.
You know, Kurt, talking about Sam Cunningham and the way he dives, Jack Tatum, who played for Ohio State, is great at coming over the top. You can be sure that the safety men, and earlier in the football game, we saw Ralph Parsons come up pretty sharp and Doug Plank. They're going to be looking for that dive. It's going to be awfully tough, though, to stop this man. Let's see it from ground level view. 39, Sam Bam Cunningham.
How'd you like to have him coming at you, Al? 220 or 25 pounds?
No way.
The offside penalty against Ohio State is now places the ball on the 1.5-yard line. Jim Cope has gone out. Mike Scannell is in. They have a first down and goal to go. USC coming alive here in the second half. There he is again, and he's over. Sam Bam Cunningham has scored his second diving touchdown.
Well, you get another shot at it now. Everybody's trying to come up. Arnold Jones is trying. Rick Middleton is trying. And there you saw the safety man come up. That was Doug Plank, and he went over the top of Plank.
Here it is again. This fellow is quite a physical specimen. Power, speed, blocking ability, intelligence, everything. The kick by Mike Ray. is up, and it's good. And USC has exploded in the third period. They have scored 21 points in this quarter. And with 1:25 to play in the third period, our score is USC 28 now, and Ohio State 10. You know, Woody Hayes has beaten John McKay 3 out of 4 times at previous meetings. The last time they met, they were both undefeated. And Ohio State in the 1969 Rose Bowl game defeated the Trojans 27-16. Madigan, the tough New York City cop, finds himself in Lisbon, tracking down his man. Watch Richard Whitmark as Madigan, Wednesday night at 8:30 Eastern Time, right here on NBC.
We mentioned that Ohio State can't afford to get behind. They do not have the explosiveness that the Trojans have. There's 1:25 to go here in the third quarter. It's an uphill struggle now for State.
Anthony Davis will kick off. He hasn't thrown any passes today, but he can. He was a left-handed quarterback in high school. Cornelius Green is the middleman now, and he's running up on this one and handles it on the 16. Gets back to his 29. And he's hit down there for USC by number 37, Ken Gray, and Al Pekarsik, number 48. Didn't take USC time to score. You saw they did it in 1 minute and 17 seconds after they intercepted that pass. Well, you can't teach quickness or speed. That's what USC has, and you can go along, and suddenly in football, that speed can explode for you, and that's what it's done for USC. First down on the 29-yard line of Ohio State. The pitch out is to Galvis, Rick Galvis, and he is pinned in there and contained by number 26, Charlie Hinton. And now Woody Hayes is going to have to figure out what to do now to open him up.
And Kurt, if he tries to go up in the air, the man we should keep our eye on is number 41, James Sims, or Dale Mitchell, number 85. We mentioned they play defensive end in the 5. Neither is extremely big, but both are very quick, particularly Sims, number 41.
On 2nd and 10, Greg Hare's pass is knocked away. Intended for Galvos. A flag down. That's a motion penalty against Ohio State. Eddie Johnson knocked that away. That's the tight end, Fred Puggich, who's talking to his coach, Woody Hayes. Notice the mesh jersey.
Woody knows, Kurt, he's in trouble. It's a different looking team when Ohio State Buckeyes go away from their game plan.
Southern California declined the penalty. 11 in a row they've won, the number 1 ranked team. And they figured if they lost this one, their season was really sort of a washout. And Ohio State came in here with a chance to knock off the number 1 ranked team. So they both plenty to shoot for in this game. 3rd and 10. Greg Hare can't find anyone open, and he's blasted down on his 30-yard line. Taken from behind there by number 82, Glenn Bird, a 2nd-string tackle.
Here it is again, and when that defensive team knows you're going to pass, it makes it a lot easier getting to them. Hare pulls it down. State is out of their game plan, that's obvious.
Watch Bird all alone, but they're going back in a punt formation here, and they want to get this punt off before the gun ends the 3rd quarter because they have the wind at their back. Here's the kick. He gets the roll after what appeared to be a bad kick. And it goes out of bounds and stops the clock. That shows the end of the 3rd quarter. It's out on the 33-yard line of USC. That's the end of the 3rd period. In the 1973 Rose Bowl game with a score, USC 28, Ohio.
Jim, when you were completely gray, you did look older. I can't believe how much better you look with just a touch of gray.
Announcing Grecian Formula 16. It's practically clear. As easy to use as hair tonic. No mess. Use it every day until you slowly, gradually get rid of just as much gray as you want. Some of it, or all of it. Then once a week or so to keep it that way.
I use it too, and he doesn't even know it.
Grecian Formula 16.
the 73 Plymouth Satellite Sebring Plus. Chrysler Plymouth made a little drawing of it so I could show you what's new besides looks. Quiet exhaust and suspension systems, sound barriers in the roof, doors, around the wheels, all over it. The new mid-size Satellite, built to be seen, not heard.
Plymouth Satellite, extra care in engineering. It makes a difference.
Kurt Gowdy and L.D. Regattas, fourth period of the Rose Bowl. USC ahead 28-10. It was 7-7 at halftime. Gradishar led the Ohio State team in tackles with 7. Middleton has 6. Jones 6. And Dupree 5. Anthony Davis to his 38-yard line. Up in it by Randy Gradishar. I'll tell you who's had a good day today is Mrs. Nixon in the white suit. First lady here today from the San Clemente, the winter White House out here in the West Coast. Who's had a good day is Mike Ray. He has completed 16 out of 22 passes for 196 yards, and they needed his passing arm here to break things open in the third quarter. Anthony Davis to the 40. Look at him go. He's to the 45, and he has a first down again. Rick Middleton was the man that finally had to stop him.
You can't see enough of Anthony Davis. Just enjoyable watching this man run. Pulls away from one. He hits a bunch of people right here.
And now a sophomore, Anthony Davis, who didn't start, who was a third-string tailback when the season opened for USC, is going to challenge the all-time Rose Bowl record here today of 194 yards on the ground. As you see, he has 157. Bob Peter of Iowa set that record in 1959. And they're running him a lot now. He's dropped on the 45-yard line for no gain by Charles Beecroft that time.
Speaking of that, Kurt, Sam Cunningham will have an opportunity to tie a very old record here of Elmer Layden's of Notre Dame, 1925 against Stanford. Layden had 18 points. Up to this point, Cunningham has 12.
Second and 10. Davis goes out to a big hand. Number 28. He needs 40-some yards to break the all-time Rose Bowl rushing record. There are 13 minutes to play. USC's ahead, 28-10. Flag drop. Too much time against USC. Moves the ball back to their 40, makes it second down and 15.
On that 18 points, Kurt, also Jack Weisenberger of Michigan had 18. Mel Anthony also had 18. That was in the Michigan-Oregon State game in '65.
The referee, Dave Kaminsky, you saw with that signal, the track and field coach at Cerritos College. 22 years he's been an official in college football. Over the 50 they go to the 46. That's Sam Cunningham, and boy, what a hole. He usually makes the holes, but this time he has it.
Good hole, Kurt. They get by. That's the center popping on Arnold Jones, but this is the speed that Kurt was talking about earlier. He can really accelerate. He gets to that safety man as quickly as I've seen, and that was number 24 coming up, Ralph Parsons.
Southern Cal on the Ohio State 47. Third down and 2. Cunningham sort of driving, twisting. As a first down for Southern Cal on the Ohio State 43. Dupree made the tackle for the Buckeyes. Put it on to 44. You know, these 6 officials in the game, 3 from the Pac-8 and 3 from the Big Ten, have 130 years of officiating experience. They all average 21 years of officiating and have done a very fine job today. First down. USC and the Ohio State 44. Swan in motion. Gray will throw it again if he can. On the run. It's complete to Young, the tight end. And they drop him at the 31. He was hit there by number 20, Neil Polsey. But another first down for USC. Young now, I think, has caught 6 passes. Charlie Young, you can see why he's an All-American tight end.
You're right. He's a tight end, Kurt, but I think he's good enough and fast enough to be a wide receiver. Rangy boy, great hands. And you know, another good story is this center. I think Dave Brown is sort of the spiritual leader of this team. He's 6 foot. He's 229 pounds. A very dedicated young man. Number 54. 57.
Charles Young has caught 6 passes for 82 yards. Rod McNeil of Baldwin Park, California, junior, who was the first-string tailback at the start of the season. Finally beaten out by Anthony Davis, which is certainly no disgrace. And Rick Middleton made the tackle on him. It's on the 29-yard line of Ohio State. And Southern Cal now dominating. Held to a 7-7 tie at halftime. Their passing ability and their speed has taken over. That was McNeil's first carry in the game. Cunningham in at fullback. Bray going to McKay. Incomplete. You know, John McKay, the coach, has a great sense of humor. Every week they have a recruiting meeting. And Craig Fertig, who you see talking to McKay, the quarterback coach, was in charge of the high school area that young McKay and Pat Hayden played in. So they were talking about it, and McKay said, well, what about Hayden? How do we stand there? And he said, good. So, well, we'll offer him a scholarship, but don't offer the McKay kid one. He says, why not? He said, I can't even get him to empty the garbage, let alone coaching. Third down, 7. The rollout. And the toss is to Lynn Swan. Boy, this fellow's some kind of a receiver. Lynn Swan. Out of bounds, giving USC a first down on the Ohio State 9.
How about Mike Ray, though? Now, he's really mixing it up. They're going with a passing attack, and he's right on target. Doesn't look like he's going to do much, but that ball seemed to get to the receiver. Good catch. They're very high on Lynn Swan, rightfully.
Dangerous attack. McKay has been held to 1 catch today. Young has 6. Swan has 6 catches. Davis has 3. They throw to everybody. First and goal to go, USC. The pitch. Swan fumbles the ball. And who has it? Looks like a USC recovery. Number 57, Dave Brown, the center, from Glendale. So they picked up 3 yards in the play.
We were talking about Dave Brown just a minute ago, and it's just sheer pursuit. He hustles all the time. Watch how his body will drive Parsons away from the ball.
That was Van Decree who chased him. Decree has had outstanding lateral pursuit today, running those backs down on the opposite side of the field from him. A timeout. And with a timeout, 9:57 to play in the Rose Bowl, and the score, USC 28, Ohio State 10.
Allstate has life insurance that says you don't have to die to collect. It's our money-back plan. You get $10,000 of permanent insurance now. All your money back when you're 65. Every dime you paid in. Allstate Money Back. You get something back when your load gets lighter.
Happy baby?
You're in good hands with Allstate, young man.
Introducing the 40,000-mile radial tire with 5 guards to help protect you 5 ways. The new Goodyear Custom Steel Guard Radial helps guard against rough ride, penetration under the tread, against wet skids, loss of road contact on curves, and against sluggish handling. With the new Goodyear Steel Guard Radial, you get the 5-guard feeling. The confidence of control, only from Goodyear.
Second down, goal to go for USC. Look at Ray's passing figures. 18 out of 25, over 200 yards in this game. 2nd and 7. McNeil. Cunningham is out blocking for him, and Rich Parsons drove McNeil out of bounds on the 2-yard line. 3rd and 2. Manfred Moore comes in, number 44. 4 defensive tackles in for Ohio State. All right, now they have that Cunningham deep. Let's see if he dives again. He scored 2 touchdowns already. They give it to him. And is he over or not? Short. Now they have a 4th down and a foot to go.
We're bound to see, Kurt, an awesome collision. I mean, they're just consistently doing it, and they'll probably stay with it again. Just give it to Sam Bam Cunningham. But watch the safety men. They're going to be trying desperately, but I just don't know how you stop that man.
Michigan could not punch it in against Ohio State's goal line defense. Southern Cal has been able to. Mostly because of that fella, Cunningham. How do you stop that? The 3rd touchdown for him. On that tremendous diving fullback, Sam the Bam Cunningham.
Sam has had a lot of airtime. He probably can get a pilot's license. There he goes again.
Watch this takeoff. Look at that. Like the man in a flying trapeze when he crosses that goal line. Pat Hayden will hold. Ray's kick is up. And the kick is good. And USC pouring it on now. In the 4th quarter with a timeout, the USC Trojans 35, Ohio State 10.
This is the Plymouth Grand Sedan. Isn't it a beauty? Let me show you something. Easy to get in and out of. Plenty of room. Comfortable. I like the looks of it, too. I've driven a few of these lately. When it comes to a full-size car, I don't think you can beat it. I love this thing. The Plymouth Grand Sedan. Try one yourself at your Chrysler Plymouth dealers.
Leaving your lights on for over 3 hours in freezing cold, that's murder. But that's what we did with these cars. Let's see if any of them can start. One can. The one with the Sears Die-Hard. The Die-Hard. Extra power to start your car when most batteries won't.
All right, here we go now with 9 minutes and 10 seconds to play. USC leads 35-10. It was 7-7 at halftime. Davis kicking to Cornelius Green on his 4. To the 20. Up to the 30, and he's down in his 32-yard line. The tackle there by Marvin Cobb, number 24 of USC.
Well, now, Kurt, anything could happen. It could be just it's already a 25-point lead, but if he puts it in the air, he's going to be getting a severe rush. The interception, a very likely thing, really, when you're under this kind of pressure.
And now we have a new quarterback in there now, sophomore Steve Morrison. of Huntington, West Virginia. See if he can move them some. Rich Galbo's playing his last game for Ohio State, brought down by Jeff Winans, the right tackle. Will be on the 40-yard line of Ohio State, a gain of 8. Before that last play, USC finally got going and had mounted 399 yards on the attack, 229 by passing and 170 by rushing. Ohio State has 260 yards total offense. Harold Henson, who hasn't been used as much today as everybody thought he would be, carries the ball to the 46-yard line for a first down for Ohio State. Stay tuned. Right after this game, the Orange Bowl in Miami, it'll be Nebraska, Notre Dame, right here on NBC. Woody Hayes. This team played a gallant first half. Galbos to the 49, but finally been outstripped by the versatility and speed of the USC squad.
And it looks like Coach Hayes has kind of admitted that the battle is over. There's the bench, a very depressed team, a very gallant football team. They came in here to play, and they played. They really tested this USC team, and they'll go home with a great deal of respect for them. Under 8 minutes now, 7:40 to go.
Second down, 8 to go for Ohio State. Flags are down. Morrison's toss is grabbed off by Hinton, the cornerback of the 40s, up to the 50, 45, and is out of bounds. That's Charles Hinton of East Orange, New Jersey, a senior cornerback. I believe the flag's against Ohio State. If it is, USC will have the ball. Hinton caught that ball at his own 40 and ran it back 15 yards. And Southern Cal declines the illegal procedure penalty. They take the ball over now on the 41-yard line of Ohio State with another chance to score. 7.5 minutes to play.
Charlie Hinton carried a fine young man from East Orange. Told us the other day that he's going back to East Orange to work with young people. His major is in community work, and I can tell you he'll be well accepted. He's just an outstanding young man.
First down. In motion is Boulware. Looks like Pat Hayden's come in now. This youngster's quite a passer. And is complete to Manfred Moore at the 40. Gets his move to the 30 and is down. First down, USC. Sonny Hughes made the tackle. Pat Hayden, number 10, one of the greatest high school passers in the history of California football, will be the quarterback next year. And for sheer throwing the ball, Johnny McKay said, "I've never seen a better one." And we watched him toss Saturday in a workout, and he can really deliver that ball beautifully. Can he, Al?
He really can, Kurt. He was a little concerned about his height, but he's 6 foot, and he seems to deliver it on his toes. He's not stretching out.
Just a natural passer. First down, Southern Cal on the Ohio State 26. The pitch is to McNeil, and McNeil is brought down on the 23-yard line of Ohio State by Mike Scannell. The highest scorers in the Rose Bowl, USC beat Pittsburgh 47-14 in 1930. And in 1963, USC 42, Wisconsin 37, the wildest game ever played here. Those are just the highest scores for a USC team in the Rose Bowl. Dancing through is McNeil, and he's to the 8-yard line. Tim Fox tackled him.
Here it is. Here's a man that lost his job to Anthony Davis. And how many teams would love to have this kind of move? Kurt, he has, I think McKay has quite a few good football players.
He played against his brother, who plays for UCLA. First down, goal to go for USC. Leading 35-10, 6 minutes to play. So 7-7 at halftime. Pat Hayden Dropped down from behind by Randy Gradishar, and we understand why he made the All-American teams as a linebacker this season. He's a junior. Champion Ohio, he'll be back next year. Second down now, 13 yards to go for a Southern Cal touchdown. 49 points is the most any team has ever scored in the Rose Bowl. Michigan did it twice. 49-year-old John McKay.
You know, and he said, Kurt, the other day that win or lose, you know, the world kind of goes on, and he doesn't take that win or loss. He loves to win, obviously, and he is a winner.
A timeout, and our score again, USC 35, Ohio State 10.
When you're out in a car, trust is everything. On the road near or far, trust is everything. You want to be able to always rely on the gasoline and motor oil and products you buy. If you depend on your car, be sure it's always on you are. Trust is everything. When the taxi's home, we've got everything for your car. So you trust your car to the man who wears the star for the kind of products that can take care of your car at every taxi station. Clean across the nation for products you can trust. You trust your car to the man who wears the star, the big bright Mexico star.
USC stopped fairly effectively in the first half. Now has rolled up 427 yards total offense, 2 yards away from the all-time Rose Bowl record. Here's Hayden's pass, and is broken up at the goal line by Tim Fox. Pass was intended for Chris Bella, second-string tight end. 429 yards total offense is the Rose Bowl record set by Iowa's team against Cal in 1959. USC has 427 yards today against Ohio State. They now have a third down and 13 to go for a touchdown. 5 minutes and 22 seconds remaining in the game. Ray Washmara is in the game. There's McNeil. They're just broken, and he lunges in, but they say he stepped out on the 1-foot line. But USC now holds the all-time total offense record for a team in a Rose Bowl game. And they want Sam the Bam back there. Here he comes. The human cannon, Sam Cunningham, who 3 times has cannonballed into the end zone on his famous dive, is back in now. 4th down and a yard to go. Let's see if they give him the ball again for a record 4 touchdowns in a Rose Bowl game. He's the deep man in that eye. And he's got it, and he scores. He fumbled, but he's over. He was over the goal line. Sam the Bam Cunningham gets his 4th touchdown of the game. Yeah, they weren't long ones, yard and a half yard. But I wouldn't want to be hurling myself full frame, full speed.
Yep.
I guess those 260, 70-pounders, Al.
Talk about instant replay, Kurt. This is the most replayed shot we've had all day. He's pretty good. He ought to go out for the high jumping team also.
So, a new scoring record for a Rose Bowl game. The kick is good by Ray. All kinds of new records being set today by the mighty Trojans, who are indeed number 1. Timeout with a score, USC 42, Ohio State 10.
You know, you could get a better shave if your razor had a second blade. Why? Well, when you shave, your whisker is actually stretched out from your skin. But after it's cut, it starts to snap back. Now, if you had a second blade right here, you could shave that whisker again before it all snaps back. So with 2 blades, you'd have a better razor. Our razor, the Gillette Track 2. Gillette made it 1 blade better.
A Chrysler has always been an automobile with a tradition of performance on the open road. It was an automobile that faced the challenge of Le Mans and saw victory in 56 Grand National competitions. Today, the tradition continues with electronic ignition in this 73 Chrysler Newport, a Chrysler more people can afford.
Chrysler Newport. Extra care in engineering. It makes a difference.
Well, Mrs. Nixon, First Lady, is leaving. And I imagine she enjoyed herself in the parade today and the game, and she's seen USC really open it up here in the second half. Anthony Davis kicking off to Cornelius Green again at the 11. He doesn't get far. He's back to the 25, and that's it. Met there by Tom Bollinger, Jr. And we have a flag down also with 5 minutes and 6 seconds to play. I was handed a wrong record here, and I want to correct. That 429 yards offense is for rushing set by the Iowa team, and that has not been broken today by USC. It's still quite an impressive performance, 42 points against a club the caliber of Ohio State. There's your clip, and Ohio State's back in their 13. The most total net yards, 516 in a Rose Bowl game, was that Iowa club. Up the middle they go. Errol Henson carrying the ball. We're under 5 minutes to play now.
It's amazing, Kurt, how few people have left this. There's Cunningham, have left this oval. They're starting to leave now, but with 106,000 people here, the game totally out of hand now in favor of USC. You think maybe there'll be more leaving.
Quarter of 5 here on the West Coast. As soon as this play is run off, tell you why I mentioned that. They run Little Lippert, the second-string tailback. Right now, you would normally be seeing the Orange Bowl game, but we're going on here. We have 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining, and as soon as this game is over, we'll quickly switch you to the Orange Bowl in Miami for Nebraska against Notre Dame. And I don't believe there's any doubt, Al, is the #1 college team in America.
They could be the #1 team for quite some time with the ball players we're seeing today.
Morrison, the quarterback, up to his 23-yard line.
We were talking about Rich Wood, thinking about John McKay and how he gets these young people. He did a clinic in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and Rich Wood's coach at Thomas Jefferson High School in Elizabeth, New Jersey, was talking to John McKay, and John said, look, if you ever have an athlete that you think we'll like, would you bring him to us? Well, Rich Wood, who runs 109.8, played offensive guard in high school, now is playing linebacker, just a sophomore, so I guess McKay liked that clinic down at Atlantic City. There he is.
First down for Ohio State from their 23. Rich Galvos to the 30 and gets up to his 32. Incidentally, Rex Kern is in the stands today. Remember Rex when he was an outstanding quarterback? Played twice in the Rose Bowl here. He was the most valuable player in the 1969 game. Played in the 71 game when his team was upset by Jim Plunkett and Stanford. But he is here in California to be married on January 16th. And the future Mrs. Kern was a Rose Princess in 1968. Rex Kern can't be too happy about the outcome of this game. And Champ Hansen is dropped on his 36-yard line. Remember, Al and I will be at the Super Bowl game on January 14th, Miami and Washington. All the activities will be carried by NBC this year. The Super Bowl game, January 14th. 2 minutes, 45 seconds to play in this game. 42-10. in favor of USC. They have scored 35 points in the second half, USC. Lippert to the 40, 45, 50, and into USC territory. For a first down, they stop the clock. And Johnny McKay is going to have his 100th coaching victory today also. Very witty man. He was described as what happens at a Rose Bowl game with the coaches. I'll tell you about it in a minute. First down, Ohio State. Lippert again. Runs it to the 41. At the kickoff luncheon, the Rose Bowl, 3,000 people there. So I'll tell you what happened. Because across the field for me is Woody Hayes, ranting and raving up and down the sidelines. Of course, I'm very calm and collected on my sideline. And deep down, neither one of us knows what's going on. Second down, 5. Morrison on the quarterback keep to the 35, out of bounds to stop the clock. 42-10, USC has won the Rose Bowl, won the mythical national title with a certainty with their impressive performance here today. First down, Ohio State. They're on the USC 32-yard line. Elmer Lippert again. And he's chased along the 30, and down he goes.
You know, talking about the intensity of the man, Woody Hayes, if you look at him on the sidelines, he's still walking up and down. He wants this touchdown. It's a matter of personal pride. This game is Woody Hayes' life, and he's brought so much to it. Really, there he is. Ohio State football has just been a tradition of great, great things.
The executive producer of the Rose Bowl game, Scotty Connell. Game has been produced by Dick Auerbach. There's the throw, incomplete, directed by Harry Coyle. Our associate producer has been Jim Maroney. Production manager is Bill Palmerston. Technical supervisor, Jerry Ireland. And the technical director has been Gene Swartz. There's your time remaining. 42-10, USC. Statistics today. There's a famous dog called Turk. That's the mascot. Whose dog is that?
That's Pete Adams.
Pete Adams' dog. He goes out and gets him. Pete Adams is an orphan, and that dog is also an orphan. Pete picked him up off the streets, and he just hangs around the squad all the time in the locker room. He finally made it in the Rose Bowl. They love that dog in that USC team. Lippert running it to the 25. 1 minute to play in this game. Statistics today that you've been seeing visually are kept by Joe Costanza and Dr. Bob Woods. Bob Ingram has spotted USC for us. Bert Charles, who for years has done a great job broadcasting the Ohio State games, been our spotter. Scoring, Chuck Panama. And our production stage manager, Carl McCarthy. And they have voted the player of the game. Now, who would you guess is the player of the game, ladies and gentlemen?
Could I try Anthony Davis?
You said Anthony Davis. Try again.
I give up.
Sam Cunningham has won the Helms Athletic Foundation Player of the Game Award. So I'd have to give some strong consideration to Mike Ray, the quarterback.
I agree.
Mike Ray. What are his final figures there, Joe? Mike Ray really opened it up as he engineered a brilliant attack here in the second half. Ray hit 18 out of 25 for 229 yards. And just directed a very brilliant attack that he hit 72% of his passes. Ohio State still banging up the middle, trailing 42-10.
Well, you can't really blame him. Woody did that, and earlier when he decided to go to the air, he was intercepted, and that kind of just blew it all together up. There he is, still figuring. Woody loves football.
Here's the lineup for you. Johnny Carson, Isaac Hayes, Joey Heatherton, Bob Hope, Dean Martin, Lee Trevino, and Flip Wilson. All part of the first Jack Benny special, Thursday night, January 18th, right here on NBC. Bledsoe's got in the Ohio State lineup with a timeout. Well, McKay will leave the field with his squad. 12 victories in a row this year. The closest game he had was by 9 points to Stanford. And he's had a season that very few coaches have enjoyed, the way he's dominated the opposition. I mean, they have just been almost overpowering this season against the opposition. A 9-point game is the closest scare they had. Otherwise, they just blasted everybody. And it has to be, I imagine, Al, one of the powerhouse great teams that's ever come from the West Coast.
That's right, Kurt. When you think what they did, the class they showed against Notre Dame. Notre Dame came up against them, got within 2 points, and then USC pulled away.
And Steve Morrison throws. It's Smyrna, the tight end, who goes out of bounds with 47 seconds. There has to be a little bit of concern in the Big Ten now also about the Rose Bowl game, because the Pac-8 is winning its 4th in a row. USC beat Michigan 3 years ago, and Stanford dumped undefeated Ohio State. Stanford upset undefeated Michigan last year, and now today USC is winning impressively. In the 50s, the early 60s, the Big Ten was a dominant conference. But now, especially with the red shirting in effect here, where a player can be in school 5 years, the Big Ten will not do that, hurting them some in football quality. They have to be a little bit concerned about this West Coast football. And there goes a touchdown. They hung in there and scored. John Bledsoe scored with 44 seconds to go to make the score 42-16 USC.
Here it is. Bledsoe really never quite came back from an injury last year. Looks pretty good here, though, moving rather well. Woody Hayes, in his tradition, kept calling the plays and went in for that score.
Blair Conway boots it up, and good, 42-17 USC. The marker down. Offside against USC. Declined by Ohio State. And now Ohio State will kick off. The umpire today, Dick Vukovich, is a commissioner in the guidance department at Mishawaka, Indiana High School. Our head linesman, Tom Cross, from Tacoma, Washington, is a recreation director in Tacoma. Line judge Bob Fallon of Dolton, Illinois, is a safety superintendent for the Illinois Bell Telephone Company. Back judge Jake Light of Roseburg, Oregon, an independent insurance agent. He's been officiating 23 years. And the field judge, Bob Broadbeck of Peoria, Illinois, is a Midwest Sales Company executive. He's officiated 9 years in the Big Ten. 6 veteran officials today handling this game. Blair Conway will kick off. Seeing a rarity today, a Woody Hayes team beaten this decisively. You just don't run over his clubs like this. But USC has today.
I think the official's calling for a fair catch.
He's waiting in the darkness. Now he's ready. And they try an onside kick that goes about a loss of 3-4 yards. And it is. Did it go out of bounds? We can't see with the players on the sidelines. And there is a new record for the shortest kickoff in history. Rolled out of bounds on the 40. And the ball was kicked from the 45. So that is a net kickoff of -5 yards. Did you ever see that one, Al?
No, I have to admit, Mr. Gary, that's a first.
Remember the Senior Bowl on NBC, Saturday, January 6th. the outstanding seniors in American collegiate football. I think McKay just said, I've never seen that either. A kickoff for -5 yards. And Southern Cal now has called timeout. 42-17 USC. Called Pat Hayden over. And that South team, the Senior Bowl game, All-American Burt Jones of LSU, Florida State's Gary Huff, leading the North to the country's third leading passer, Tony Adams of Utah State, and the West Coast standout, Oregon's Dan Fouts, whose father been an outstanding sports broadcaster, Bob Fouts, for years in the Bay Area.
By the way, that was Skip Husband that was walking, one of the coaches of USC that walked in front of John McKay. All the coaches on both teams have been extremely helpful to us all week.
First down, USC at the 40. Pat Hayden gives the handoff to Alan Carter, a third-string tailback. Mike Scannell made the tackle. And we're down, as you can see, the last 30 seconds as USC has trampled. They used to call them the Thundering Herd here under Howard Jones, who coached 5 Rose Bowl teams. John McKay has surpassed him now with 6 Rose Bowl teams, and this has been the Thundering Herd today. 42 points they've scored on an Ohio State squad that lost only 1 game and had limited the opposition to just 12 points a game. And the crowd pours out to salute America's #1 college team. It's all over. A final score, USC 42, Ohio State 17. It was close at halftime, 7-7. A tough battle in the first half, but the passing game of USC, their speed, their variety in offense, broke it open, and they won going away. A Happy New Year again, ladies and gentlemen. Kurt Gowdy and Aldi Rogatis say, stay tuned now for the Orange Bowl right after station identification.
James Coburn answers the question, what did you do in the war, Daddy? Saturday at 9, 8 Central Time.